What's up, everybody? This is the Good Anime Palette Podcast, and we have an exciting show for you today because it is our Season 3 finale. That's right, third time around. Will and I are going to get drunk. Will and I are going to talk about a lot of awards. We're going to do stupid shit, and come along the ride with us. I'm your co-host, Fluffy Sama Jason, and I'm joined by Edgelord Sama Will over here.
I'm very happy to double down on the drunk stupid shit because I'm already kind of halfway there.
Yeah, you started the party way earlier than I did the night before.
Had a leaving party didn't need to tend to, and then my cousin was getting married, so then I had to go to a dinner afterwards. I lost my phone halfway through, managed to get it back. I'm still a little. I wouldn't say hungover, but the heartburn is real right now. So that's Yeah, heartburn's a serious ailment, man.
And maybe your heart will swoon when we go over our awards for this season's podcast.
There's a couple of awards that I'm dying to get to because you know how when we were putting all these lists together, like maybe like a month and a half, 2 months ago, you're like, dude, like she having a very, very tough time picking something. It's like I've got 3 things here, 4 things there. I don't know how to minimize it. In my mind, I'm like, what the fuck ever, dude? Just pick whatever, and you'll be fine.
You say that to me every time.
And then last week I started putting together, and I'm like, fuck, actually, Jason, there is like 2 things that I might have like 4 entries for, and you're like, well, I mean, I told you, okay, all right. But when those things come up, there will be explanation as to why certain awards are a little more stacked than others. But nonetheless, the main thing is that we are wrapping up the 3rd season of the Good Anime Palette Podcast. It's a fun and a sad time. Dude,
I forgot, by the way. This is episode number 36. So
in case you need to know.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, similar to our number 24th episode and our 12th episode, it's our season finale. We go over, I guess, for season 3, it would be anything from episode 25 till right now.
This also includes BPs, After Darks. So if there are anything that comes up during those episodes, we may feature them. But yes, it will be running from episode 25 through to today, episode 36.
Now, earlier, I alluded to the fact that we would be getting progressively drunk because every finale, Will and I have a tradition where we would buy 2 bottles of sake, usually 1 dry and 1 sweet.
How about this? Let's see. So today the bottle you got was Hakuba Nishiki.
We're not sponsored.
It's we're just letting you know it. Whatever. I mean, I've got a bottle of water.
Yeah,
mineral water.
We
have a Daiginjo Shu, which is the grade of sake. This is what's the percentage of millage on this one?
I feel
it's a 49% milled. Okay, so it should be a pretty clear and pretty sweet drink.
I feel the need to say please drink responsibly and please be over the legal limit to drink. But if both of those criteria are filled, you're welcome to join us as we drink. We won't stop midway, so you just hear like maybe silence every once in a while when we literally drink. So, as Will pours the first drink of the episode for Will and I.
Yeah, do you want to introduce the first award?
So what we're going to do is we're going to split these awards into 2 categories similar to the previous finales. They are what we call the serious-ish awards and then the stupid-ish awards. The serious-ish awards are the very typical best anime of best seasonal anime, best manga, so on and so forth. And then the stupid-ish ones are more fun stuff. And we'll go over the definitions if we need to. So if this is their first time listening to a season finale, welcome. Please listen to the other ones. They're a fun time. And yeah,
we pretty much have like the vanilla Crunchyroll-esque awards in the first half, and the second half is our rules, our awards. We get to do and say whatever the fuck we want.
And then there is always a mystery section where one of the co-hosts would kind of set up a kind of quiz thing.
A little game kind of thing. This time round, it's Jason's turn. So we had Jason the first time doing is this a light novel or not? Or is it a visual novel or not? It was one of those.
Is this real or not, basically? Yeah.
Then I did one which was, guess the superpowers of a specific anime and whether they are real or not. This time round, I have no clue what you've got in store, but you've been pretty giddy about it for the past month.
Do you want me to tell you now?
No. Okay.
All right.
It's a game show. I can't have any advantage whatsoever.
All right. So we are going to have our first drink, and then we'll get into our first serious-ish award. So cheers, Will.
Kanpai, man.
You should pour me another one. That one was actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah. This is not bad.
Yeah, I know.
Hungover Will is actually okay with this.
So our first serious-ish award is our favorite seasonal anime from season 3. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say. Unless otherwise specified, we usually would have a runner-up and a winner for each of us respectively. So there would be at least 4 entries, unless if it's what we call no contest winner, in which it's just clear one winner.
Or at the same time, it's just our rules. We can say whatever the hell we want. If we have 5, we have 5. If you have 1, we have 1. We just have to justify it.
So I'll just say this award is really easy for me because...
Yeah, why is it Dress Up Darling?
For runner-up, it's Winter 2022's My Dress Up Darling because it's just a really good show. The waifu is really good. Cosplaying and everything, and the mixture of romance / lewdness, I think is balanced extremely well. And it's just a really fun show.
I enjoyed watching it. I didn't invest all of my Marin stock, so I'm not as down with Dress Up, but the fact that as a phenomena, it just like swept everything from Winter. There was like nothing that even came close to the amount of fandom that generated.
I have to
particularly with all the manga sales that got backed up with it too.
Yeah, like 6 million, I think, in circulation now. I think that I did not expect the reception to be this welcoming. I think when we did our seasonal bets, I said to you at some point, it would be a high 7s. I did not expect it to over.
It was like an 8.4 at the end.
Fucking crazy. I mean, I can check right now, but yeah, I was just really surprised. Okay.
Yeah. So I have like an outright winner for this one, but there's also a very special mention because very much obviously you can't really talk about the 3rd season of the GAP podcast, which included winter and spring for anime seasons, without talking about Spy X Family.
Yeah, so, that's my winner.
Yeah. Like, funny enough, Spy X is actually my runner-up.
Oh, snap.
And the thing is, again, like...
Hey, we make the rules,
to even have it in the top 2 at all, it's already, like, an honor, right? And I think what I need to give, like, context to is, I kind of already knew what Spy X was all about because we both read the manga, right? And what was, like, really impressive about it was that they were able to actually translate and showcase what was the best things about the manga into an anime. Now we've seen like hype manga get adapted, and they'll be like done decently. They'll be done really well, but none I've seen has been such a smooth transition than Spy X. I was really impressed with the voice acting, the casting of the characters, just the overall direction. And I have to give it special mention because, one, it's like, oh, well, no shit, right? Spy X was so fucking hype, and it also managed to hit the landing. I think it deserves to have a mention in the favorite seasonals of the 3rd season of GAP.
And this cur is not even over, and then the second cur is in the fall, so...
You might just have, like, a clean sweep, right? Like, the second part could just also take up all... Because, dude, Spy X is great.
It's great.
Right. So, but you had Spy X as your number 1, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, again, you read the manga for Dress Up as well before watching it, right?
Yep.
Right. So, then do you give Spy X the number 1 spot simply because of it is just better? It is just more fun?
I mean, also, we make the fucking rules for our award show. But yes.
True. I just wanted to see what, like, the thought process behind, like, because there was a lot of, like, you were like, oh my God, like, I knew this would be good for Dress Up Darling, but I didn't know it was going to be that good. Whereas I think you could kind of see with Spy X, you're like, this is going to be hype regardless.
So I think if you take out the waifu modding, Dress Up Darling is not the same. I mean, okay, that sounds like obvious, right? But
the MC is pretty dope, though. I like him.
I mean, Gojo's really dope, too. But if you take one thing out of Spy X Family, like Anya, for example, yeah, sure, the whole thing will take a hit. But there are so many other good things about it, such that it's just so well-rounded and comprehensive that it has to be my winner.
I think also the fact that, the voice actress for Anya was perfect. You could make a case for other characters to be swapped in and out, but like Anya Forger, the voice actress, I need to Google it later to see who it was, but she did an amazing job. Funny enough, I think the winner for my favorite seasonal. Now, it does come with a caveat because I haven't finished it yet. But for me, it was your boy Kang Ming.
Yo.
Your boy Kang Ming will show a bit more throughout this episode.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert will show up more for me too.
But I think what I was really impressed about it was this just came out of nowhere. It was PA Works. It looked like a really kind of like, what's this supposed to be, right? Like I have no idea what to expect. Then they break out the opening. The music is just ridiculously fun. I mean, I even told Jason last week I was buying a new phone, the one I just lost and managed to get back. And when I was at the store, someone had actually been playing the OP on repeat on one of the sound systems just to showcase how good the sound system sounded, and also the fact that the music was also amazing too. So it just made sense. But it was on repeat for like a full hour, and I never grew tired of it.
The full song is now available on Spotify, guys, so you should check it out.
And generally, like it's a fun time. It's definitely an interesting take on a reverse isekai, because most of the time it's like, oh, you bring over like old feudal Japanese lords or like some mystical
Chinese.
Well, I mean, I'm not just saying about Kang Ming. I'm talking about diverse isekai genre in general.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Sorry.
Wow.
Do you want me to take another drink as punishment? I'll take another shot as punishment.
Take the whole bottle.
No,
don't do that. Don't do that because I want some of it too. But yeah, whenever you have like old like samurai or ninjas coming in from like old Japan, or you bring over like some warrior that grew up like I mean like Fate, when you bring over like old school mythical like Excalibur-esque King Arthur shit, and then you bring them into contemporary world Japan, it's more just, let's just fight it out and like use our extreme military prowess to beat the shit out of the modern world. Whereas this is, on the other hand, it's like, I am a master tactician from the Chinese feudal empire. I'm going to make you one of the best singers in all of Japan and plan out your victory to take over the charts of the Japanese music scene. And in your mind, you're like, this shouldn't work, but it fucking does.
It's just anime doing anime stuff, and that rap arc was just
oh yeah, that was fun. No spoilers, just watch it.
It was great.
So I think those would be like our seasonals of
season 3.
Exactly. So Kang Ming for me, along with Spy X. For you, Spy X, Dress Up Darling.
All right, our next category. Will, tell me when you want to have a shot.
I have a tough time because this is the one where like I actually had a few too many awards to pick.
Okay, so this award is favorite backlog anime from season 3. Okay, hold on. Will and I are going to take another shot. I had like 4 already.
Yeah, I'm only on number 2.
So our favorite backlog anime is an anime that is not a seasonal that Will and I consumed either for research purposes or in our like what we've been watching section. So
AKA just whenever we watch anime. Like, we also remember as well, as much as we are doing stuff for the podcast, sometimes we just watch stuff for fun and don't necessarily, do it for the podcast. But if it's something interesting, we want to talk about it, we will feature it.
Yeah. So I think the stipulation is we have to at least mention it in some capacity on the podcast and have consumed it during that period of time.
Yeah. So no springing up surprises,
Yeah. Or all of a sudden be like, oh, that anime that I recommended, but I haven't watched it in years, but it's still really good. That is like a in-between area, but it doesn't matter because it's our rules. So, Will, do you have a runner-up?
I have a few.
Okay, so how about I start with mine then?
To be fair, actually, I can't quite choose which one is my winner, so you go first, and I'll make my mind up on the spot.
Okay, so I will do all of them then, so then you get more time. So my runner-up is Shinkai's The Garden of Words. I think that was a film that
was a good film.
That was really interesting and special due to my academic background and work background, and it is a very good movie in of itself already, but it has that extra oomph for me because of that context that I had personally. I also think that if you were to look back on Your Name and Weathering with You, you see a lot of Shinkai's kind of style that plays out, and I just think it was a really good condensed, almost near perfect movie that looks fantastic. My winner, though, is a Wit Studio property called Snow White with the Red Hair, season 1 and 2, because I guess I watched them together. I was also very surprised by how much I liked it. I knew that it was one of the classic shoujos of the modern era.
You finished both seasons, right?
Yeah, I finished everything that is available in terms of anime, and I have read a bit more in the manga. But speaking for the anime, it's just a really good blend of very good character development and writing, and a lot of shoujo and action stuff too. So I thoroughly had a great time.
That's why I won, right? Because it has the shoujo tag to it as well.
Also, the VA is your forger, so she's dope.
Kind of hard to beat that one then.
Yep.
So those are your 2 awards then, your 2 like contestants that reached the favorite backlog anime. Cool. Because I'm still trying to figure out which one is my number 1. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Okay, how many do you have?
I have 3.
Okay, then just say all 3.
There is a 4th mention, but I'm going to save that later. So this one was actually based off of a random recommendation from your boy Jason. When I think we were just having a lunch break. This has happened like a couple months ago. And then you pulled up this anime. It's like, hey, you watched this before? It's like, I knew what this is, but I haven't watched it before.
Oh, I know. Okay.
And the show in question is Hina Matsuri, which was fucking ridiculous. It was just high octane, fun, stupid. It's kind of like the podcast itself. It's like none of it really makes sense, but it kind of does. But when you watch it, you're like, why is this happening? But at the same time, you also don't care that it's happening because it's entertaining and fun and cute. The characters are all good. I didn't have any issues with any of the characters. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10 in the end. It was
I did as well.
It was just fun.
And there was an emotional arc for a particular character that I did not expect it out of like a comedy-oriented show, right? So
moving on to the next runner-up, I think I've determined who my winner is.
Okay.
This one was when we talk about like fluff and chill, it's kind of hard to look past Eurocamp.
Yep.
And I didn't realize how much I would love Eurocamp. If anybody ever heard how much I talked about, oh shit, what was that fishing anime called again?
Slow Loop.
Yeah, Slow Loop. I almost said look back for a minute. No, but that's for a whole different thing. Sorry about spoilers. Yeah, so Eurocamp was a really, really fun time. I think I gave season 1 an 8, and then season 2 a 9.
Same here.
And now I'm looking forward to the movie,
which would come out like 6 months later. Or
I just have no complaints. It's like what it did was it also taught me a lot about camping, because lo and behold, after finishing season 1, I actually did go camping, and all the tidbits that I learned from Eurocamp I actually employed when actually camping, and it served me well. What it didn't serve me well was I didn't realize that the campsite we were at would be hit by a mini typhoon.
Didn't you have boars show up at one point?
We had boars, wild boars, cattle on the outside, just like wandering around the grounds. Luckily, nothing too serious happened. It was just a very cold and uncomfortable night. But we've seen that happen before in the Eurocamp episodes. Now, the number 1, which has been a personal favorite of mine ever since I started watching it and finishing it. It's a gambling anime by the name of Kaiji.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So I thought going into this, award show that we're doing for today, I thought that my list would turn out a certain way, and then it ended up being very not that. And I think I did not expect that pick either.
Why not? I've been raving about it ever since. I've been telling you as well.
I mean,
hey,
compared to Eurocamp, you said more to me personally due to
because I know how much you don't like Kaiji.
Yes, I don't.
Exactly. Because you've got a problem with their noses, which I can understand. The character designs are not for everyone. But the story and the plot lines and the character developments and the intense gambling scenes, holy fuck. Like, I've talked about how I liked Liar Game a lot, and I thought it was like one of the greatest sort of like suspense gambling-esque kind of mystery mangas, whereas Kaiji, on the other hand, just kind of blows that out of the water. I would highly recommend Kaiji to anybody who's down to watch stuff like Kakegurui, down to watch stuff like if you're watching Tomodachi Game, don't watch that. Just watch Kaiji.
I was about to mention that, but I didn't want to stick it in there. Okay.
Yeah, just watch Kaiji. Kaiji is a lot better. Trust me. You will get over the noses after maybe 2 episodes. If you don't, then either just stick with it or watch something else. But if you are okay with it and you want to experience a wonderfully told story, you can't look further than Kaiji. that would be my favorite backlog anime of the season.
So I think after we discuss each category, we should just sort of say the runner-up and our winners. So then that way our listeners would, sort of know.
Or they can just rewind.
Yeah, but we'll just do that because as we get progressively drunk, we'll forget about it. So my runner-up is Garden of Words, and my winner is Snow White with the Red Hair for both season 1 and 2.
You're just assuming that the listeners are drunk too, right?
Well, who knows how drunk they would be? They might be full sober or drunk on anime. I don't know.
Don't get drunk on anime. Don't get lost in the anime.
Well, what are your 3?
Hinamatsuri, followed by Your Camp, and then the number 1 winner would be Kaiji.
All right, let's have another shot. You ready?
Wow, we are really steamrolling this right now.
It's almost over. We finished the first bottle already, almost.
There's only 2 shots left.
Yeah, well, let's take it after this. And then we're going to have to grab the second sake. All right, our next award is our favorite manga that hella needs an adaptation. So,
I mean, the explanation is kind of there
yep,
already.
the
my one's simple because I haven't really read much manga this season, but
yep.
I'm just going to go with Goodbye Eri.
Yep.
As opposed to Look Back, which I also really liked, but I feel like if you were to get a feature, like an anime feature out of either one, that Goodbye Eri does seem to be a bit more transitional to the screen. Look Back would be more... I think Look Back works best as a one-shot, as its manga format, but there could be a case to make for transitioning Goodbye Eri onto the screen. You can make a feature-length movie out of it. You can make like a short OVA series out of it. Like you can even make like if Garden of Words is like 50 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I think 50 minutes would be like perfect for Goodbye Eri.
So yeah, obviously it won't be a full cur, but I think as like a short feature, whether it's 3 episodes or the equivalent of that, is a very good spot for either of those one shots. And Will, you are more dedicated to Goodbye Eri, right?
I would say so. I think like okay, it's not so much that I'm dedicated more to one. It's like I think both of them are really, really well done. I really like both. I just feel that for the purpose of getting an anime adaptation, I would like to see Goodbye Eri more as opposed to Look Back. I think Look Back, whilst it's a great story, is best told as a manga. I just don't see this like being as impactful as an anime or as Goodbye Eri. The way that the whole purpose of it is about someone who's filming their life. It's
right.
It's about the movie making process. So like it just makes sense to get it on screen. That's why I think. And Look Back is about manga. So
no, I understand. I think between the two, that is the more, I guess, the adaptation choice that makes the most sense between the two. So for me,
was that your choice, or did you have something completely different?
All completely different.
You read a lot of manga.
But
I don't know why, but
you've actually heard of these 3 shows or these 3 mangas that probably should get a show.
Become shows, right?
Right. So I will just mention the second runner-up, which is Apothecary Diaries, which is a very well-known manga that talks about like feudal Chinese kingdoms mixed with a girl that is into poison and CSI basically. And it's very interesting how the drama of these like internal politics kind of govern the inside of this palace, further with this girl who is just into poison and trying to solve crimes. CSI as fuck. All right. So that is my second runner-up. My actual runner-up is Even If You Slit My Mouth, which is a Jump Plus property.
That one. I have seen some of it. Yeah, I could vouch for that one.
I think it's an extremely good blend of horror and romance in a way that is extremely wholesome, which is like the weirdest sentence to say, but is extremely accurate of the show. I mean, it should be a show of the manga. You see, I'm getting a little drunk now, Will. But then
you would be making those mistakes if you were sober.
I mean, I have an award dedicated to that. But the winner of my award for favorite manga that hella needs an adaptation is The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You.
I mean, you've been calling for an adaptation for that already, right? Because we have Domestic Girlfriend, we have Rent-A-Girlfriend, we have Girlfriend, Kanojo na Kanojo.
Yep.
And so, is that an anime, or is that still just a manga that needs to be adapted? It is an anime, too.
Yeah, it was like a couple of seasons ago. Yeah.
Right, so now... I mean, to keep up that girlfriend trend, you would need...
We have Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 2 in the summer, I guess.
Gross.
So it has, like, another year.
Gross.
True. But this manga is extremely meta, referential, extremely funny, and somehow managed to balance a harem in such a way that it is quite endearing and wholesome, as well as funny. Did I mention it was funny?
I mean, how many chapters are you in? How many girlfriends are there now?
I will say at least over 10, I think 15, 16.
Ooh, your boy getting into double digits in the girlfriend space.
Oh, it's already double digits. I think like the Japanese manga, at least like the number of chapters are out is like way higher. So yeah, definitely.
Cool. So there you go. Those are your three, right? Apothecary Diaries. Then you also got Slit.
Even if you slit my mouth, and the 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You.
Mine's Goodbye Eri.
All right.
Because it's the only... So, it's one of two manga series or one-shots I've read all season.
We need to polish this for our next category.
Just hold off. Maybe wait, because I want to down this when we get to most disappointing.
Actually, that's a good call. Let's chill out for a bit. So our next category is Best Girl / Waifu of Season 3.
Now, I have a Best Girl and a Best Waifu. Just like how the war afterwards, I have a Best Boy and a Husbando.
So I also took some liberties with the definition as well. Who wants to go first?
Who? Amongst the two of us. I mean, mine are very straightforward.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm sure yours are not that different, but if they are, then I wouldn't be surprised. Best Girl, I've got two, actually.
All right.
You have to do an obvious shout-out for Anya Forger.
Okay.
Right? But my actual Best Girl is Hitomi Mishima from Hinamatsuri, the bartender girl.
Dude,
I fucking love her.
She's so good. I told you she's good, right?
She's so good, especially when you get to the part where like she actually has an episode fully dedicated to her growth, her upbringing, and her dedication to actually like finding who she really is.
There is a slight gag about her checking her bank account, I think, at one point, and it was just the best interaction with herself ever. So I fully endorse that those nominations and winners.
As I mentioned with Hinamatsuri, the characters make the anime, and Hitomi is probably one of the best characters. I would absolutely like if there ever was like a spin-off series for any reason for Hinamatsuri and it was featuring her, I would totally watch it.
She's my favorite character of Hinamatsuri.
Too bad that because after the anime came out, manga sales didn't really improve, so they kind of just canned any further episodes of Hinamatsuri, which is sad. But that's just how the anime industry works.
Right. So,
but if you do have a chance to watch Hinamatsuri, definitely watch it. You will not disagree that Hitomi is the best character. But there's also a lot of good characters in there too.
Okay.
Who's your You must have at least got like two.
I have like 15, but I had to cut them down significantly. So what I had to do first was everyone from Kaguya-sama Love is War had to be taken out because that's not fair.
And everyone from 100 Girlfriends as well? Or did any of them feature in your list?
Nope. I also have to take out Shoko Komi from Komi Can't Communicate because I already mentioned her before, even though Season 2 happened during Season 3 of GAP. But I finally had to do the really gut-wrenching thing of taking out Marin Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling because what I eventually came down to was...
Wow. Hold on.
What I eventually...
You shorted your Marin stock?
So what I did was...
You didn't hodl your Marin stock? What's going on here?
No, I fucking didn't, actually. I told you, right, earlier on that this award list was really weird.
You're fucking blowing my mind. Hold on. This doesn't make sense. But what did you actually go with?
So, okay, I'll explain really quickly why Marin is non-applicable to this category is because she's an extremely good waifu, but she is not my waifu.
But, okay.
I know that's like splitting hairs, but that's how I differentiate.
But then it's also for me where it's like that's where I have the definition between best girl and best wife and waifu.
Right. But for us, it's like either or, right?
But for you, it's like, would you say a best girl is a waifu?
I mean, Shoko Komi is best girl for sure.
Okay. Also, okay, because I have a very like specific definition for either one.
Okay, I'll just say my runner-up is Shirayuki from Snow White with red hair, which shouldn't be any surprising if you've known my enthusiasm for that show.
Yeah.
But my winner is none other than the ditzy airhead Yor Forger from Spy X Family.
That was your best girl or your waifu?
I would say both of them would be waifu material.
Because I had your forger for waifu.
Yeah, so there you go.
Because for me, it's like there's a specific definition of if it's a best girl, like I ain't wifing them.
Yeah, no,
I would
get
protect
that.
them though.
Yeah, so like Anya Forger
and
to
I
me.
I wouldn't waifu Marin because she underage, bro.
No, not just that, but also like she's just not my type, right?
Yeah.
But I also acknowledge her waifu-ness or best girl-ness. So your Forger wins though, outright. It's just great.
It's hard to look past her. It's really hard to look past her. She's one of the best girls / best waifus, however you want to call it. And if you disagree with us, like she'll fucking kill you, dude.
And then apologize afterwards over your dead body.
No, she wouldn't. She would actually be like, "Ah, shit, I got blood spilled on my dress again," and then she would be like going off to clean this shit up and not even think about you.
Oh yeah, and I need to buy peanuts for Anya when I get home.
Yeah, she's a mother, dude. She's a mother to a daughter she really really cares about.
Well, on the flip side, Best Boy and Husbando of Season 3 is our next award category. Will, what you got?
So I got, again, a specific best boy and a husbando. For best boy, you're not going to know who it is, but I will tell you that you should watch this anime. Not so much for the anime, but so you can get into the manga, because the manga is really, really good. The best boy for me is Manjiro Sano from Tokyo Revengers.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is this character?
He's one of the main leaders of a specific gang in the Tokyo Revengers world.
So if I saw up to episode 4,
he's the short, long-haired one, as opposed to the tall, long-haired one.
Did you say Mikey?
Mikey is the tall one. Or
I thought it was the other one.
Yeah, Mikey.
Okay, the short guy, basically.
Yes.
Oh, I quite like that character, given like the very short, like.
And the reason why like I picked him is because, again, this goes beyond the anime itself. It's because I've also read the manga too, and that I couldn't pick it as part of like any of the awards because it already has an anime adaptation.
I know. I think it's fair game.
But I think that like as far as best boys go, like you don't get more dedicated and more passionate than Mikey from Tokyo Revengers. That was my pick.
If we could go off for a bit, I don't know if this is true based off of how the anime or the manga would go, but the limited exposure that I got of that character, it's more like this is a person who is in that violent world but stands up for values and tradition and certain principles. That
he's a gangster but with respect.
Yeah, and I really like that kind of angle because it's almost like an oxymoron, and it's just very interesting when you factor in like how the Yakuza history.
Or you know how like whenever you watch like those old school kind of like Godfather or the Soprano kind of stuff where it's like you need to hit and it's like, okay, no women, no children. That's the kind of thing where it's like they are going to be doing shit that's bad, but they still have principle.
Yeah, or they sell drugs, but then they also give back to the community by opening a sports center or something. Like that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, so it's like, oh, you're kind of a little gray area there, but at the same time, you're like, I can see that at least this person is a man or a woman of value. And therefore, it's like you can't fully fault them. They just are going down a path that isn't necessarily like the quote-unquote right one.
The path less chosen, right? For sure. So my runner-up is the main male character from Snow White with the red hair. Funny enough.
Gross.
Zen Witalia. Just a very good character in general. But my number one winner, and I will spend an exuberant amount of time pushing this person, is none other than from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 2 to be precise, Caesar Antonio Zeppeli.
You pick Caesar? Oh my god, really?
What do you think I would pick if I had to choose?
Not Caesar.
Why?
Because he's cursed, bro.
Yeah, but he's good.
Oh man, why do you always have to pick the tragic heroes?
Because like, I thought this character was just so fun in Part 2.
Okay, fair enough. No, he is like he's a bro. He's a Chad, but he's a bro.
And what happens throughout that interaction with Joseph Joestar, which was my second runner-up, but whatever at this point, and their camaraderie, and then I guess the result of what happens to Caesar, I thought was extremely well done in general. So that's why he's best boy / husbando. I would say husbando category.
To be fair, the Zeppeli family is like you can pick Will. Will Zeppeli was dope.
No.
What are you talking about? He was, because if it wasn't for him, JoJo wouldn't have been able to do his Hamon. Therefore, you wouldn't have part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, all the way to part 8.
If I can't pick Caesar, I would pick Speedwagon.
Speedwagon is just all around good dude.
That's what I would have picked if I couldn't pick Caesar, but Caesar was the more flamboyant.
You're not going to pick Rudolph von Stroheim?
Fuck no.
You're not down with Nazis?
I'm hella not down with Nazis. What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, what about any of the Egyptians, like Wamu and all that?
Nope.
No.
I mean,
they're ripped as fuck.
Look, they're all like top tier.
It's hard. They're all fun characters to pick, but I think, I thinking back now, I can see why you pick Caesar. He wouldn't be my personal. I can see, like, I'm not against it at all. My husbando is Kong Ming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, he just seems like some...
right? Yeah.
You just imagine this is the kind of person who would sort your life out. It's like, oh, you need to wake up and get your shit done. It's like, oh, but I don't want to. Then you'll start rapping. And then you'll be like, yeah, no, you're right. I should get my shit together. He's the kind of person where it's like, if you needed motivation or direction in life, he's the one to give you that kick of the ass.
I actually thought about that. It wasn't going to win because Caesar was going to take the top spot, but maybe as a runner-up. But then I thought, like, he kind of... You have to, like, depend on him. And, okay, he never betrays your trust ever. But the fact that you are left in the dark is something that would cause anxiety in me for sure.
I like surprises, so...
Oh, no, I get that. And everyone... Different strokes for different folks, right? So, absolutely no problem.
Some boys just want to have fun.
Solid pick. I mean, Caesar, you would have a lot of fun.
You would also have some serious trust issues at the end, though.
Yeah, but like for
spoilers,
that night,
spoilers,
for that night, it would be good. And then the next morning,
we're not going to go further into it. By the way,
all right,
just watch JoJo.
All right, then comes
okay,
the probably a lot of fun, the most disappointing thing of season 3. All right, Will. So we're gonna spend our last shot of the first bottle on this. Do you think we'll drink more?
This is part 5 of the first sake, and then we'll have part 1 of the second sake, right?
No. It's final season part 1 is over, so then there's part 2.
Okay, so most disappointing. It just comes down to how we define it, but generally, it is what let us down the most, what did not live up to expectations, or something that was shit, and you were hoping for good things.
So I think both of our runner-up and winner picks are exactly the same. Oh, by the way, our we already forgot about mentioning Husbandos. Okay, go on.
Wait a minute, forget mentioning. I mean, I said Kong Ming, right? I'm sure Bubble's one of them.
Yeah, but which one?
I think Bubble. Well, Bubble was my winner.
Yep, Bubble is my winner.
I got Shield Hero Season 2 as my runner-up.
Oh shit! My runner-up was Ryman's Club.
So I have Ryman's Club for a different award, and I think what it was is that, like...
Oh, actually, I think I know which award that would be.
Yeah, you would absolutely know which one. But my case for Ryman's Club is that, yes, they set the bar real high, but at the same time, was it just because it came out in a season where most anime were kind of shit?
Do you remember us talking about the first episode, not on air, because also
we were on Discord. We were talking about it.
We were so hyped. I think you were at work, and I watched it, and I was like, "You need to get on this shit." And then I took screenshots, and you were like, "Fucking, what is this thing?" Like,
but
fucking,
at the same time, I think it's also we have to temper our expectations because there were a lot of drab series that season as well. So maybe that's why we were like hoping this would be like that breakout they were looking for, and unfortunately it kind of dipped. It wasn't as bad as, say, like Tact Op, right? Tact Op was amazing the first episode, and then it really took a shit on itself. Ryman, I think like it showed what it really was after the first 2 episodes. Yeah, and it was just kind of like It wasn't bad, but
because I think it was Ryman's Club, and then our expectations were heightened because of the first episode. Whereas with Tact Op, it was the opposite. Like, there was so much pedigree, and then it got down pegged. And
not to mention the OP for Tact Up is a fucking good song too.
I still listen to it to this day on my Spotify.
But like, it really just like shat the bed, right? Whereas Ryman, I could see why you picked it. I don't disagree with it. I just had I mean, my one was the easy choice in the end of Shield Hero Season 2, because holy shit, what the fuck is this? It was so dry, so boring. And I know I've talked to a couple friends who are like, yeah, no, that's what happens after Season 1.
Like D-Dog? I mean, we won't mention explicit names, but...
If you D-Dog said, like, in the follow-up after the first season, if you're talking about the light novel, it does get a bit drab because they need more exposition. They need to actually build up a new story after what the fuck happened in Season 1. And Season 1 was fucking insane.
I think with Season 2... I knew it wasn't going to be great based off of the plot beats, but they adapted it really poorly.
Yeah, you said there was a lot of, like, things were just crammed into the first 2 episodes, right?
Or things were assumed that you would know all of a sudden, like, oh, these guys are buddy-buddy, but then all of a sudden it's like, wait, what? And there was all these contexts that were left out, and because there are more characters now, the waifus of Raphtalia, I guess, has less screen time, so...
Right. Well, enough about Shield Hero, enough about Ryman's Club.
Let's shit on Bubble. Let's go.
Okay, I wouldn't say shit on it, but we definitely need to air out a lot of frustrations with it.
Okay.
When we watched it, we actually watched it with a good friend of ours over in Taiwan, right? So we went in knowing that this was going to be a massive production, right? With studio, the cast, the directors that were working behind it as well.
Let's pretend something, right? So pretend you don't know what Bubble is. And
we're moving past that.
Okay,
we're going straight
it.
into
We're
going straight into Rotten Tomatoes. This is a bad tomato.
Fuck. There was so many good things that previously I would have been like, this is the best shit ever.
And that's not taking anything away from Bubble. There were moments when we were like watching it on Discord where like for a solid 5 minutes we didn't say anything because what was happening on screen, the music that was being played was so surreal that we were like so taken aback.
If I were to clip certain parts and use it as like a dynamic wallpaper, yeah, it would be great.
Like you'd imagine if you watched this at an IMAX, right?
Oh, bro,
with like Dolby Atmos, like
bro,
fuck.
Don't even get me started on that.
But that's like the best. That's like the only good thing.
It is.
Then you take away all that, and you're like, well, the character development is kind of non-existent. Some characters are just obsolete.
Yes.
Fuck. Like there's a character named Usagi, and like, okay,
the rabbit. Yeah, I know.
He falls once, and then afterwards, that's it.
Yep.
None of the characters have any impact whatsoever.
The
on
villain
the story.
Apparently gets a redemption arc of sorts.
But like
what?
But why? Like, they just show up. Oh, we've got cool masks. We use technology to be able to beat you in races and shit. And then they fuck off for like a whole hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then come back at the end.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, we all thought she was a guy, but it turns out that she's a woman. Isn't that like, like forward-thinking? And I'm just like, you are just fucking you're just writing a poor character. It doesn't matter what gender this person is. It's just a poor villain / bad guy / redemption arc.
And as much as it's like the music, first of all, like no, first, second, third, and finally, the music is fucking amazing.
It is.
And
it does
really,
look good.
really good. But it doesn't do enough for me to be like, yeah, no, this is definitely a movie worth watching. And if anything, like, you should just listen to the soundtrack.
Do you know what I would use Bubble for? Is at a concert, it would be playing in the background,
visuals?
And then I would be playing that music track that is being featured at that point. And then that would be the perfect accompaniment.
Are you saying that Bubble is a music festival? Because it could work, actually.
Look, Fire had their time to shine.
Well, Fire.
Right?
We're not talking about Fire. We're talking about like the ones where you stream with holograms or like with like Hatsune Miku.
Yeah,
fucking, like 3D.
She should get on Bubble and like try to work something out.
That could totally work. You get like some YouTube Premium or YouTube Red kind of shit. Oh, here, like $8. Watch some Bubble Music Festival. That could fucking work. But
hey, you're not going to go to concert. It's COVID, right?
Yeah, just watch the shit at home. You have a VR set. Watch it in VR.
Watch it with your friends. Pop some popcorn.
Yeah, but as a movie feature, I don't know if I could really recommend Bubble to people. It wasn't like, oh, this is the worst thing you're gonna watch. It's just that I had such high expectations. Maybe it's my own fault for having such.
It
high
is our fault,
but
in
like,
a way.
When you have like Araki, when you have Sawano, when you have all the VAs, when you have Wit Studio running this shit, how could you not have high expectations?
So you see, the thing that I realized is what you just said, like the staff list being stacked. Only people that are very invested in anime industry would know, right? So it already sounds good, but the trailer would, for a lot of mainstream, like people who don't really watch that much anime, they would buy into just based on the trailer alone because it does look fantastic. And it just does not work when you watch it on a casual level, as a casual weeb, and as a hardcore weeb. And that, to me, is like the biggest disappointment. Because if you enjoy it as a casual weeb or don't watch a lot of anime, then fine. And I'm sure you would get something out of it regardless, just like we did. But it was so disappointing.
I couldn't really tell who it was catering for. Because the casuals would be like, okay, this is kind of cool, but like, what's the story? What's the story, right? And then there'd be the hardcore ones. They'll be like, wow, I'm actually very disappointed in the performance of these characters because we have such great writers, great staff, great music, but no substance.
To this day, I still think instead of writing a story first, they like the concept of parkour and like the camera angles and the music, and then did an anime around that. And I think if that's the truth.
I mean, they're not Shinichiro Watanabe, where it's like, oh, give me like a concept, give me some music, and I'll make a story out of it, right? Like, it fucking worked. That's how he made all his works. Whereas this one was just kind of like, the main center point, the main focus is this, and you build a story around it. They're like, well, actually, no matter what story we give, the setup was going to take precedent no matter what. So
usually when I watch something that's disappointing, I usually get mad. But with Bubble, I was just beaten down. That's how bad it was for me personally.
It was nutty. I think like half an hour out of the whole hour and a half that we used to watch it was fun. I literally like enjoyed all the music beats. The animation quality was fucking ridiculous. Though there were parts where like the zoom in of the pretty boy and the pretty girl lips was a little bit like
it was weird.
It was weird, right? It was very dark.
It's like parts of Vivi, right? Yeah, so I get that.
It's like whenever you play a video game and it's like CGI generated cutscenes and then like in-game cutscenes, like the quality is very noticeably different.
Yep.
So I think that's that's enough of shitting on Bubble.
At the end of the day, it should have been in contention for best anime on paper. In execution, obviously not. And that's why Will and I are so disappointed and are so passionate about putting it in our winner for best disappointing of season 3.
Was it a waste of time? Not
No.
entirely.
And that's actually worse. Because if it was a waste of time,
You probably would have just cut stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was holding out hope.
Okay. Well, let's do a 180 on this, and rather than talking about disappointing shit, what about stuff that surprised us? What about things that we just came across? We're like, wow, this actually turned out to be really fucking good. So the award for this one is the best surprise or best discovery
of season 3. So I'm gonna go real quick with my runner-up and winner because it's very obvious, and actually talk more in depth about my second runner-up. So my runner-up is your boy Kong Ming. Makes sense.
Yeah.
The premise is absurd. It shouldn't work, but it does. And it is fantastic. My winner is Kotaro Lives Alone.
Fuck, that's such a good. It's such a random thing. I mean, okay, just straight up, I had that as my winner as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd
let's go in on it
because I'd seen it on Netflix before, but as a live action.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, I was just like, this is kind of interesting. Watched it, very lighthearted, very chill. Okay, it's just about a kid talking about modern day life beats and all that. Yeah, it could be something to watch, but it's live action. Not that into it. Whatever. Then a couple months later, an anime version of it came out. I was like, well, why do we need this? Like, this has absolutely no reason to exist. We already have a live action. So I was like, fuck it. Why not just watch one episode? After one episode, then I immediately go to Jason's like, so we have a life lessons and an episode coming up, right? You should watch this. And you're like, just like, why?
That's the crazy part was it wasn't because of Kotaro Lives Alone. It just so happens that this anime was premiering around the time that we already established this subject for our episode, for that episode.
And it was just perfect. So I was just like, watch this. Just trust me. Just check it out. And you're just like, okay, sure. And then you ended up watching more than me. And you're like, I don't know like how I feel right now, except that, dude, life sucks, man.
I need to do better, Will. I
gotta be a better person.
So honestly, like, I guess before we knew about the property itself, when we saw it on the lineup for Netflix, we just like didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like literally, like it was like a non-issue. Then all of a sudden, somewhere down the line, my sister messages me from Texas and he's like, "Yo, have you seen Kotaro Lives Alone?" And I'm like, "The fuck are you talking about? Oh, that Netflix show? Fuck, what? It looks so stupid." And she's like,
I cried
3 times. She said that. Like, I have the text, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? And then literally like the next day, I looked at Mal and it has like an 8 point something.
8.4, 8.5.
And I was just like,
it's very high.
I was just like, what, why, how? I need to know.
Now, we need to throw this out first as well, right? The character design of the series
Yes.
is actually not good. I really don't like it.
It is faithful to the source. I will tell you that.
Oh,
much.
absolutely.
Just like how Kaiji is faithful to the source.
Yeah.
But if you're turned off by the aesthetics, there's not much I can do about that.
Big ass foreheads.
Eyes too.
Yeah, their heads are huge.
But the amount of truth bombs, the amount of life lessons, the philosophical things that you learn from Kotaro Lives Alone cannot be understated. And that's crazy.
Like, where were y'all in episode 35 when we talked about why Kotaro is like the #1 life lesson anime out this season?
And it's a kid, a literal kid.
4 years old.
Who speaks in the way of a feudal samurai.
Whereas like most of us grown-ups nowadays don't even know how to pay taxes. Right? Like this kid has everything going for him.
And it also doesn't work out for him, but he's okay with that. And that is just so heartbreaking and also very educational and motivating, really.
Yep. So that was my winner. You had a second runner-up, you said?
What was your runner-up? I want to go a bit on my last one, I guess.
Dance, Dance, Dancer.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah? What?
Yeah. Who would have thought that I would like it? Because it's a kid who does Jeet Kune Do, wants to, become a man. But
speaking
then
of eyes,
yeah, that one's an
the eyes in that.
But I like it.
No,
Dance is good.
I
fully didn't expect to get into it.
Because I really like Welcome to the Ballroom, and it really did give me those vibes. But I was so ready to be like, I'll just give it to Will, and he will shit on it. Fine, whatever. Like, honestly, like I know that sounds kind of petty, but I was just like, maybe he won't like it, and then whatever, right?
You just wanted me to further reaffirm it's not good. You're like, you know what? If he doesn't like it, then I'm not gonna watch it.
Right?
But
because I honestly wanted to be the elitist snob that be like, yeah, but Welcome to the Ballroom did it right. But then, well, I haven't seen it other than the first episode, but boy, was I fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Oh, you think ballet is not a man's sport, or you're not manly enough? I mean, I guess there's like, what do you call it, like stereotypes about that? But have you seen Billy Elliot? Have you seen fucking how jacked that guy is with tattoos in the very beginning of episode 1? Jesus fucking Christ.
It's a good show. I do have a quick mention of a second runner-up, which was AKB Sailor Uniform. Because I didn't imagine myself liking that shit.
So AKB Sailor Uniform was my third runner-up. Because honestly, and the reason why I took it off was because cute girls doing cute things is not necessarily...
It's the trope that like has been from the beginning of anime.
Yeah, and I like cute girls doing cute things, so I was going to like it regardless. But I was surprised at how much I liked it, though. That was true, and how good it looked. But my second runner-up, which in my mind is quote-unquote the real winner, at least in my heart.
They make it the winner.
No, because Kotaro Lives Alone is too impactful, in my opinion. But anyways, The Demon Girl Next Door, Season 1 and 2. I was immensely surprised at the amount of heart, and the writing is genuinely funny. You have Chika from Kaguya-sama voicing the main character, Momo. And I think I texted you, Will, at one point.
You said this was on June 7th, a couple days ago. Man, within 6 minutes of this episode of Season 2 of Demon Girl Next Door, they spoof recaps, do Resident Evil and Dead Rising parodies. The VA for Chika from Kaguya is rapping now. What the fuck is going on?
Yes. Also, furthermore, there is a bit of Yuri undertones that is extremely apparent.
That just lights up the cockles of your heart, right?
It is so gay. I love it. And it's just so dumb. They make fun of magical girls in a way that I just... mad props, really. So I went from knowing that I would probably like the show to absolutely loving the show. So
it's always good to confirm something, right?
But that's just for me, right? But Kotaro Lives Alone, I think, is something that I would push for almost every single person under the sun.
Now then, we've talked about stuff we've watched. We talked about stuff we've read. What about stuff that we haven't gotten round to yet that we really, really should get into? The award for this one is the quote-unquote best anime or manga that we have yet to get into.
Arcane won last time. I have not finished Arcane, even though it does look really good.
To be fair, I think just watching that first episode was enough. It's good. It's good. But is it anime? Is it...
You fulfilled Odd Taxi, so you did your due diligence.
Yeah. And Odd Taxi was fun, too.
So
you should get around to watching it at some point.
So, speaking of news stories that has happened within the past 2 weeks, my runner-up is a manga called Oshinoko.
That's my only award for this one. The one thing, because I think anime eventually I will catch up with, but manga has been one of those things where, as much as like I do enjoy reading manga, I'm so lazy that I just can't get around to picking up a book and reading it.
Wait, you know about the news recently, right?
Oshinoko?
Yeah.
No?
It got an anime adaptation.
Oh, okay.
By Doga Kobo.
Doga Kobo's doing it.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I lost my fucking mind, but I thought you would have known already, so I didn't tell you. Yeah.
Well, now I know.
Now you know.
Now that's a surprise discovery.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Shit, okay.
So, Aka Akasaka from the mangaka for Kaguya-sama Lovers War also did Oshinoko, which is about an idol who the main character has to take care of this idol during childbirth. He dies for some reason and is reincarnated as one of the two babies. And apparently it's like drop dead, gorgeous and good and interesting and entertaining, and I have no idea.
Incredibly highly rated.
Extremely. It won tons of Shogakukan awards and shit like that.
I thought for a minute it won a lot of shokugekis. I'm like, damn.
Look, sometimes Soma can't do all the work, right?
Oh, now I'm getting hungry. Shit.
Fuck, we have to order food. Shit.
We'll get around to that.
I'm starting to feel a little bit. But Oshinoko is, for all intents and purposes, seems to have all the ingredients for it to be an awesome anime adaptation. And originally, I was going to put it on manga that needs to get an adaptation, but then I was like, I never read the manga, so I don't know. And then all of a sudden, several days later, it's like, oh yeah,
all your wishes have been answered.
Yo,
now.
Doga Kobo, we got you, Jason, we got you. So
we've sung praises of Doga Kobo the past season. We've said some good things about them.
My Senpai's Annoying is really good. Shikimori is really good, even though a lot of people don't seem to agree. But I understand. Honestly, I do understand.
I mean, when you're up against a titan that is Marin,
I really think the fallout of that was high. But speaking of best anime and manga that I haven't consumed, I was originally going to consume it, but I didn't. This winner is Ranking of Kings. I'm really sorry, Will. I wanted to, and trust me when I said that a week ago.
Well, you finished part 1, right?
No.
Oh,
8 of 23.
You're getting there.
I literally did not move an inch since I put it on hold last time. Not consumed a single thing. Meanwhile, there were friends that I was telling about, like, oh, I kind of should finish this. And they went on to finish it before I did. So I'm just like, well, fuck. I'm just a lazy piece of shit, apparently. So Ranking of Kings should be good. It is good. For those 8 episodes was fantastic. Why wouldn't it be better? It should be. It is.
There were a couple cry moments for me. I still cry whenever I listen to the music.
I literally had a friend text me and says, in all caps, why are you not watching this? You alluded it to me, then I finished it, and I'm like, the fuck are you doing? Get off your ass and watch it. I'm like, oh, shit.
Well, don't get off your ass, because then you'd be standing up. Sit back down, watch some anime. But then again, it's also like there's so much shit you're already watching and reading, so I get that. I get
manga is on my backlog?
You said, like, just from one tag alone, there's like 20 volumes, 30 volumes.
Yes, because I have not been keeping up with manga. But anyways, Will, on your end, what you got?
That's it. Just Oshinoko.
Oh, shit. Really?
Because
no contest, right? Okay.
As I said, with like most anime, I will eventually get round to watching. Just like how you said, I should watch Jormungand. I will get round to watching it, right? But manga is just one of those things which, unfortunately, just takes time for me to get into.
Do you want to know, though, like the secret winner that I have for this category is the best anime and manga that I haven't consumed that I really should is Vinland Saga.
I had that for previous season, as in like this is the shit you should get into.
Yep.
Season 2 is coming up soon.
Yeah, exactly. We in January 2023. That's another news story. We have in the past 2 weeks crazy amounts of news stories, but okay, that's for after the finale. So.
Oh, I mean, speaking of news stories, that's actually the next award.
Yep. Our favorite / important / impactful news stories from season 3. I'm actually very curious to see which ones you picked.
I've got 2.
I got 2.
Okay.
I can guarantee you would not expect the ones that I picked.
I mean, there were so many news stories. It's
There
kind of hard.
was,
Yeah.
but
One of them, I mean, I didn't really have like a winner, runner-up. These are just 2 that stuck out to me the most.
like tied winners, sure.
The Niigata rice commercials.
Yep.
That was a fun time because
It was a very fun time.
having to see Onigiri Girl was pretty cool.
Mhm.
And the other one was potentially a nine-tailed demon taking over Japan because a rock which contained the evil spirit of a nine-tailed demon was split in half, and therefore Naruto is real.
So it's very interesting that you chose those 2 because actually they were in contention at the time. But I ended up going for the important / impactful rather than my favorite because the memes for those 2 and the yaoi paddle and all that stuff is just fantastic. But my runner-up is in episode 27 when we said Shueisha's Manga app Plus allows readers to read all English chapters of manga once.
Okay.
I think that was extremely important over time because not only can you, for example, read Spy X Family right now in its entirety, Kaiju number 8, which should get an anime adaptation, like fucking why not?
I think Mappa's the only one that'd be able to do it.
Yeah, I believe that for sure.
It would be sad if it was Mappa though, because I feel like those people just need to get some rest
or do a rotation, something, figure it out.
God damn, you can't do like Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen and then afterwards fucking roll out with like Kaiju number 8.
Right. So like Chainsaw Man number 2 is going to be on Jump Plus.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
Exactly.
high school arc.
And then Summertime Rendering is on Jump Plus. So a lot of well-known shows now and will be in the future are clearly originated from Jump Plus, and to push digital instead of physical is just fantastic.
But it's something you've always brought up as well, right? Like the fact that with anime and manga, it's very easy for us to be able to get a full digital catalog of anime because it's on all major streaming channels. But when it comes to manga, that's been like the main frustration because of region locking, distribution, localization.
And I know we are the Good Anime Palette podcast, but we do touch on manga because it's a very important part.
Dude, I mean, I would totally be down to read more JoJo and Golden Kamuy if it got translated and localized easier and faster.
Yeah. And to have it on Jump Plus just makes it easily accessible, right? So it's like, oh, it's on Netflix, so you can just press a couple of buttons and you can see it. Oh, it's on Jump Plus, so you can press a couple of buttons and literally start reading simultaneous releases. So I think for the platform and the overall manga industry, which is dying due to physical paper copies not being a thing anymore, which it shouldn't be a thing anymore, it's a very important news story. But my winner for the most important and impactful news story is in episode 29. We finally heard back from the Crunchyroll and Funimation merger. Funimation merger finalization.
Crunchimation.
It is, if you think about it, it really is the most impactful streaming service merger in the anime sphere of all time.
I mean, everybody thought that this meant that there was going to be trouble for Crunchyroll, and actually it turned out to be the complete opposite.
Exactly. Funimation is the one that took the fall, and then all of a sudden, all these shows got added to Crunchyroll, but not all of them, and then Sentai got High Dive, I think.
And then all the people who held like high exec positions within Funimation ended up leaving,
right?
Or they just moved over to Crunchyroll, which
exactly.
then meant that there's no more Funimation.
It's just Crunchyroll now. So,
which does beg to the question of what's going to happen to the dubbing team.
And I really do think that those questions, along with certain controversies that's happened within Funimation and also recently a bunch of other stuff that it's too long and too mundane to name, is actually very interesting to see where Crunchyroll will go, or if they chose to do nothing. So either way, Crunchyroll is now bigger than ever, and that is both a good and bad thing for everyone.
So those are the favorite news segments, news stories, whether it's funny, whether it's personal, whether it's impactful, whatever it was, they were definitely the headlines of the year, of the season for us. Now, going beyond the news and specifically into the podcast, there are some memorable moments. There are parts of the season that were like, you know what? This was a good time. This was a bad time. This is a very memorable time.
So favorite moments from the GAP season 3.
I've got 2.
I got 2.
Yeah, I'll just start with my favorite one.
Sure.
BP6.
Yep, that's my winner.
Yeah.
BP6, Spy X Family, and cancel culture.
Getting canceled by someone who didn't really do their due diligence and didn't know what they were up against.
So for people who have
Just
not heard the update,
context.
so what is the update?
So this happened about a month ago. No, 6 weeks ago. Spy X Family had just aired. We were watching the first episode or the second episode.
No. The first episode aired, and then the second episode was going to drop that night.
Yeah, and then there was a TikToker. I'm not going to mention their name because I think they deleted their account.
Yeah, so that's the update, right?
Yeah, they either deleted or they went private or they just renamed their whole account. Anyways, they started talking about a specific 30-second clip of Spy X Family where, I mean, this is not spoilers anymore. It's been long enough. Anya Forger gets admitted into a school that was part of the whole Forger plan to be able to, follow through with his little spy ways. And, he's very, very happy that Anya got in. But unfortunately, to this particular TikToker, because Anya's blushing, it means that he is sexualizing his daughter. And that is totally wrong. And everybody on the internet let out a collective sigh and said, the fuck are you talking about?
Then there may or may not be, okay, it's alleged that this person then further
They faked a report saying that there was...
from other sites or something, yeah.
That Wits and Cloverworks were considering, taking down or something. It was something to do...
Halting production was the term that was used. So obviously that's not true. And then Will and I kind of went off on, I guess, cancel culture in general. And
that went on to be one of our best episodes.
Not only that, but I think that conversation transcended, obviously, anime and manga into just the whole... And when you factor in, recent developments with certain very publicized trials, let's say, of certain actors and actress, I think the topic of cancel culture was extra relevant given everything.
It gets tiring whenever you see comments of, oh, this shouldn't be happening, or I can't believe this is happening, or this is airing, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. People have opinions, and you should always allow people to say what's on their mind. But sometimes people tend to forget that just because you're allowed to say something doesn't mean that you aren't subject to retribution and retaliation, right? You have to bear the consequences of your actions. And for this particular person to outlandishly say that there was sexualization of Anya Forger in Spy X Family, boy, you could not be more wrong.
And I think Will and I should clear the air because I received certain sort of, I guess, inklings from people that listened and said, so you're against cancel culture? And I want to be very firm and say, Will and I are not against any cancel culture, but it is the minutia and the details of each case, I guess, of cancel culture that should be taken with a very keen insight and eye of observation, because there is no general rule that applies to every situation. That's just too unfair for everyone involved.
When people essentially misuse or take advantage of cancel culture, it sets the wrong precedent for people, where it's oh, if this person can get away with doing this, then therefore I can also get away with doing this. And then that just sets the wrong trend for people. We don't want that to happen. We are fully fine if you want to try and cancel something, if it goes against your values and your expectations, fucking go for it.
Yeah, but first don't
falsify information.
Yeah, that's one thing. And the other thing is realize that everyone should have second chances or the opportunity to not only come clean but to change, so that if you were to dig skeletons in the closet, I think I used that exact term, how far back do you go? And obviously there's no written rule and there's no standard that people follow, but I'm always of the mindset to be give a second chance until someone abuses it, or that person abuses it, then be okay, then you can go fuck off and get canceled. But that is our winner.
Actually, I think that's my only one. I don't think anything else stacks up to it. I'll just leave it at that. But do you have anything else?
Yeah, I have a runner-up, and it's extremely personal because in a million years I never thought I would ever have to mention this ever. For After Dark 7, I had the opportunity to mention School Days.
Oh, right.
That is my runner-up for my favorite moment of Season 3 because, Jesus fucking Christ, that show is just... There's just so many emotions and so many, like, things to go off of from that
Yandere's
show.
are great.
Yeah, I guess. And terrible shows also can be extremely shocking, believe it or not.
We should do a segment on Yandere Simulator sometime.
Dude, I actually did a lot of research on it. It is a fucking saga of shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like there's politics and stupid message board shit and correspondence. It's like a real big mess, in my opinion. It has nothing to do with the game itself, but fuck. But School Days is the only anime that I logged on my anime list that I give a non-rating, and I refuse to give it a rating.
It's just there. It'll forever haunt you.
The other one that I don't even put on there is Grave of the Fireflies, but that's a different story.
Oh man, you should totally give that one a 10 out of 10, right?
Masterpiece. It really is a 10 out of 10, but I don't want to put it
out
on
of
there.
respect, right?
No, because I don't want to talk to anybody about it. That's my issue.
Why do you like Grave of the Fireflies?
Yeah, I don't want to have that conversation. Exactly, right? Like, you are doing the exact same thing that I wanted to avoid, right? I don't want it.
I mean, I haven't watched it, but I don't plan to. Okay, now we're
our
getting to
big boys.
Crunch time. It is now the last two awards of the serious-ish segment, which is the favorite anime.
Nope.
And the favorite
manga.
Yep.
Sorry.
You love cutting me off.
Yeah,
you?
I'm sorry. I'm a little drunk. I realized.
Sit back and let's just listen to what each podcaster here, Drunk Jason and Hungover Will, talk about our favorite anime and favorite mangas.
But let's end on anime end on anime and start with manga. Do you actually have?
It's the same things. It's Goodbye Eri and Look Back.
Okay.
But I think it's like if you just needed to read like a one shot, like they're both 200 pages, right? They're basically like one volume's worth. Just check that shit out, man. I mean, Fujimoto-san, it's like fucking. I love him. He's done real well with this shit.
Who gives a shit about one shots? No one did. Then all of a sudden,
one
bombs
shots are
dropped.
The thing, yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden, now one shots are a huge thing now outside of Japan. Like, that's how crazy it is.
I think respectively, like it is an 8.5 and an 8.7.
Also,
for Look Back and Goodbye Eri.
Fujimoto had no reason or incentive other than his own to do these 2 one-shots. He's just like, fuck it.
I have a break. Like, I'm taking a break from Chainsaw Man.
I'm waiting for part 2. Yeah.
So why don't I do this? And it's just like, this is not something you do in your free time. This is like, what the fuck, man? I
can imagine him with his editor, right? And him being like, oh, fuck, you want to do another one-shot? Okay, you're Fujimoto, so I can't say shit. Fine, let's see it. And then him reading this and being like, oh, fuck. Shit. And
how much money you want for this? No, just make it free.
No, just make it. Just do it.
Just make it for free.
And
what?
And then and then it was like, okay. And then the other guy, and then, like, I don't know, a couple of months later, it's like, oh, yo, remember that one shot I did? Yeah, it was great. Like, you're crazy for doing it, but it was...
Here's another one.
What? wait, we're charging this time, right?
No, Jump Plus.
What?
Yeah, it's free, my dude.
That is literally how it went down, almost word for word.
Shueisha is just looking at it, it's like, you're just giving this for free?
He really is MVP, honestly, with those 2 one-shots. So, here is my conundrum. I read a lot of mangas during this
I know
time.
which one you're talking about, yeah.
A shit ton of mangas during this time. So, I had so many runner-ups. And
the one that you are about to bring up, which I think you were going to bring up, was one of those, I really should get on it for season 3 when I mentioned it as an award in season 2.
Yeah, exactly. So, Boys Run to Riot.
Yes.
So, this Boys Run to Riot or Fujimoto's 2 one-shots, Look Back and Goodbye Eri, kind of is the winner. And they are really...
In the end, manga is the winner, right?
Right. And Boys Run to Riot, I think, even though it is a phenomenal 10 out of 10 in my opinion, I think it is a really tough read, and if it does turn into an anime or a movie at some point, it would be a really tough watch with a lot of people because they really go like hard into a lot of difficult and emotional subjects.
Social dilemmas, gender bending, identities. It hits a lot of very heavy subjects that you can't just casually digest.
And mix in with hip hop brands and the connotations, negative connotations come with that, and it's an extremely powerful, but it's one of those animes that, or these mangas that I don't know really what else to say. It's just really good, but if we exclude the 2 one-shots and
but then again, it's
Boys
also
Run the
like,
Riot.
but then it's also like, but you gotta mention the 2 one-shots too, right? Because they're also really
and
fucking good.
that was my problem.
They're really fucking good.
They were both really fucking good. So I had to give a shout out to my runner-up, which was the one that I had the most fun with, The Eminence in Shadow.
Oh, right. Which should be airing
in October and has 3 volumes out. The amount of sheer stupid fun that I had with this manga cannot be understated. I'm cautiously optimistic for the anime adaptation. I don't know if it can stick the landing, but if it does, it will be over an 8 for Mal for the anime. If it works, or else it will be like sub 7.
If it's a 7, it's still okay.
Oh no, it
Right?
will
It's
still be okay. But if they could really get it right, I know you can say that about a lot of things, but Eminence in Shadow, they really strive the line, and I think the trailer that they released made sense to me, but won't make sense to people who don't read the manga. All right, well,
Now we're getting into the best anime from season 3. Whether this is backlog, seasonal stuff we've done as part of topic discussions, anything that was mentioned or discussed within the 3rd season of the GAP podcast.
this is the big boy, the award to receive from the GAP bros.
I've got a runner-up and I've got a winner, and I think it's very obvious what my ones are.
My runner-up and winner, and I guess second runner-up are all extremely obvious.
And third runner-up, fourth runner.
No, it's just 3. It's just 3. To
Just
be
3,
fair,
okay.
it's just 3. Do you want to hear them?
Yeah, go for it.
My second runner-up is My Dress Up Darling. My runner-up is Snow White with the Red Hair, and of course, my winner is Spy X Family. Duh. Fuck.
Yeah,
All
my runner-up is Spy X Family, and my winner is Kaiji.
Fuck, dude. Like, color me surprised, guys.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost like we talked about these very same anime series like an hour ago when we started doing this episode.
It's almost like we mentioned these for multiple awards, and they either won or became runner-up, right?
Yeah, but you explained why you liked your shows. I explained why I like my shows. Like, they were going to feature again, no matter what, right? Like, I could keep saying why I like Kaiji, but it doesn't mean anything unless you decide to take that punt and think, you know what, this asshole keeps saying Kaiji this, Kaiji that. Maybe I'll go check out Kaiji and prove him wrong.
Hey, why the fuck is this guy talking about Snow White with the red hair? Who gives a shit? Like, okay, like I get it, and if it's that's not your thing, I totally get it as well. But if you're into that genre, just like with Kaiji, right? You're okay with the aesthetics and you like that kind of theme. I think all of the shows that we just mentioned for the best anime from season 3 cannot go wrong. Any of them.
You'll have a fun time. You will have a fun time.
And these sets of anime is the best anime from season 3 of the GAP podcast. I fucking
Podcast palette.
The palette of the podcasts of the anime.
Palette of the podcast sounds like
I don't fucking know.
It sounds like a Star Wars title.
I don't know. We are now officially done with the Serious-ish Awards.
Yeah, we're about to get stupid.
And we're going to go into our Stupidish Awards. Will and I are going to take a short break. We're going to open our second bottle of sake and do some fun stuff now.
Also eat some lunch. I'm really fucking hungry.
Yeah, did you order food already?
It's coming. It's coming. The guy should be here in like 10 minutes.
All right. So we can take a break and then head out?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Right. Y'all go take a break. Drink some water. Don't just drink alcohol. Balance it out with some water. You need to make sure you're hydrated. And then afterwards, we will come back and we will do some real dumb shit.
There will be a lot of giggling, probably.
We'll talk some real dumb shit. Okay? We'll see y'all later.
Peace.
shit. Welcome back to the second half of today's episode. As a reminder, we are doing the season finale, episode 36, season 3 of the Good Anime Palette podcast. It's Will, it's Jason, still a little inebriated, very, very full. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm actually more sober than I thought I would be, so let's try to rectify that. Please drink responsibly and over the age of the legal limit in your country, please.
So now we're opening the second bottle, which is a 58% milled sake, a Ginjoshu Kisho, from the Suiyo Japanese Sake Brewery.
Not sponsored, but, you know.
One can dream, right?
One can dream, right?
All right. You want to introduce the first award, and then I'll pour out these shots of sake?
So now that we have done with the serious-ish awards, it is time to get dumb, do stupid shit with our stupidish awards. Now, these award categories are obviously made up by us, although, you know, some would resonate and make a lot of sense when we define it. So I think Will and I will take an extra step of defining what each of these are when we get to them. But they are meant to be fun, whether it is to just have the...
This is just to shoot the shit, really.
Yeah, it's just shoot the shit. But also like to also tout some awesome anime and manga.
So the first award for the stupidish section is the Fuck, Marry, Kill section of the podcast season, but that's not very anime, so we have to tinker it a bit. Is the whose head would you pat, whose hand would you hold, and whose body would you hit with a truck award?
So what Will and I are going to do is we have a trio candidates, and we will maybe have our own impressions of these three, and then give the other co-host,
put him in a predicament and say, oh, which one would you not want to hit with a truck, but you have to pick one of them, and so on and so on. I this time around I only have one selection of three. I know before in previous seasons I did have several of them. This time around I think I just boiled it down just to a selection of three.
I also have, I have a seasonal one, but I really have the real one.
Okay, so let's knock these back first, and then we'll go into the first stupid award.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's more dry than it. Yeah, that's dry. Ooh.
Oh.
It's good, but it's woo.
Drink responsibly, kids. Oh, my God.
So, Will, since you're pouring our drink for the second go-around, would you say that choosing whose head would you pat, hand would you hold, and kill with a truck is a very potentially real life and death scenario?
Well, where is this going, man?
And your recent endeavors into the isekai genre has been the realist, would you say?
Okay.
So what I have done, I've took the liberty to pick three of the girls from realist isekai and have you to choose whose hand would you hold to marry, whose head would you pat to fuck, and whose body you would hit with a truck, aka kill. Your selections are, and if I butcher these pronunciations, apologies, Lucia Elfenden, right? No, fuck. She's the military looking girl, wears the red shirts.
Yeah.
She's the blonde waifu, I called her. Then there is Juna Doma, which is the blue idol singer waifu, basically the Onesan MILF type. And of course, Aisha Ugard, which is the white-haired...
The buxom dark elf.
The white-haired dark elf waifu. So
you had to pick those three, too.
So I have not watched a single episode of Realist Rebuild the Kingdom, season 1 and 2. I do intend to at some point. So I enlisted a help of a friend who has watched both seasons and also thought it was really good. And I said, which of these... Because apparently there's like 5 in
There's 5 right now, yeah.
But then the other 2 is like not really featured that much.
They only show up in season 2.
There's like a wolf girl or like cat girl or something.
They're not that important.
Yeah. And there's like a lolly. But
those ones I would immediately hit with a truck. But now it's actually kind of tough.
These 3 are the primo candidates. So, what you got, Will?
Well...
How about this? I'll tell you what I would do.
Okay, sure.
based off of my knowledge of realist Rebuild a Kingdom, which is basically 0, I would head pat Aisha. I would handhold Lucia, and I would murder Juna Doma with a truck.
No. That's offensive as fuck. Why would you do that to Juna? Dude, Juna is fucking hot, man. Like you, wow. Okay, now, this is clearly a predicament because I know in terms of the story, Lucia is the number one waifu, right?
Yes.
But this is because I'm not the realist in this kingdom.
You see, I've been given insider knowledge of things that I should not have knowledge of if I haven't watched the show, but I know.
It pains me to say this, but I probably would hit Lucia with a truck. It's hard. It's hard. But only because I'm living my own fantasy of what would I do between Juna and, you know...
I mean, to be fair, all three are like very prime anime waifu best girl candidates for sure. So, yep.
I would head pat Aisha.
Yes.
And then I would hold Juna's hand.
Okay.
And hit Lucia with a truck. I know that's gonna hurt some people because that's not what happens in the story, man. But like,
who gives a fuck? World. This is our rules, our world. All right. I think the reason why I picked the kudere is because I picked the kudere. So.
Yeah.
Like she's like Sunku, I think, right?
Sunku.
Yeah. So, of course, I would.
The
pick
characters
the
themselves don't really go that deep into the dere archetypes. It's more just how do you build a harem, and I guess if they show a little bit of that particular archetype, then that's what they are.
And I think Lucia is like his childhood friend, right?
Well,
kind of.
I mean, like she was there from the beginning,
right?
Basically,
there you go. So I guess that also is a plus. So I have given you those three.
Yeah,
that
was not an easy one. This one may actually be easy for you. So
let's hear it.
Your forger, Marin Kitagawa, from, of course,
and Michon Shikimori.
No.
Oh shit!
I actually was gonna say Ai Hayasaka from Kaguya-sama Love is War.
I almost got 2 out of 3 correct. So what was the third one? The Kaguya-sama one?
Ai Hayasaka. The butler maid.
No, I know. I'm very aware. Blonde, too. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I got it. So
that was fast. Okay.
I would head pat Mari. I would handhold the maid, and I will unfortunately have to kill your forger with a truck, and I'll explain why.
Wow,
okay?
wait! You were very quick to say that you were going to hit her with a truck. What the fuck?
I'll explain why. So, first of all 3 are good waifu best girl candidates. All right, like we've already established that, especially with realist as well, right?
Oh, man,
like
my head hurts. Wow.
So,
oh, shit.
The problem with your forger, if we really like go all the way with it, is she ain't anybody you want to fuck with. As in, like, mess around with, because she will fuck you up, like, hurt you and kill you. And I think that's the deal breaker for me. Because even if she was unintentionally... I mean, we have seen it in already the anime of her unintentionally harming people by accident that she really cares and treasures. And if it wasn't an anime, I might not live to tell the tale. So I would have to kill her with a truck. Marin, on the other hand, is, in my opinion, those kinds of high-minded dream waifus that, in my mind, is not practical in real life. So, but her aesthetics, her attitude and everything, head pat, no problem. So, that leaves the responsible kudere, because of course, God, what the fuck, of course, kuderes. I love kuderes.
I had to throw it in there.
Like, of course, like, What'd you think was gonna happen, guys?
They can't hear you anymore, by the way, because you're speaking very, very far away from the
I know.
microphone.
I'm on purpose. I didn't want to, say that. So
No, actually, you actually don't register at all.
That's
at this point.
Well, okay. So what part didn't register?
No, it fully registered that you're gonna fucking kill your fortune with a truck.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
You monster.
Yeah, but
You fucking despicable piece of
because
shit.
she can murder me, man, by accident.
That is your defense. I don't know if it holds up in court. It's like, oh, I think she can kill me, so I'm gonna kill her first.
Yeah, it was self-defense, man.
From what?
She's fucking terrifying.
Oh, she's gonna take care of you no matter what. Don't worry about it. But
She
again,
put her hand through a fucking pumpkin and broke it.
I could do that.
Yeah, sure you can.
I could. I don't know how my hand would feel afterwards, but
There'll be none. I would have to give you a prosthetic hand afterwards. Yes. So.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our picks for head pat, handhold, and truck.
Okay. Now the next one is the ELI5 or the Explain Like I'm 5 award. Now for those who have just signed in, have not taken part in our previous awards episodes before, the Explain Like I'm 5 award is essentially describing something that generally people would agree or would really, really like, but for some reason, either Jason or I don't agree with it, don't like it, or just don't understand it. I have a pretty straightforward one. What do you have for your? How many do you have actually?
So it is based off of that Reddit,
ELI5,
subreddit.
yeah.
ELI5. So I have two. Or obviously a runner-up and a winner.
I just have one.
All right, let's hear it.
Roll with your runner-up, and I'll do my winner, and you do your winner.
The runner-up is bringing things back seems to be a very trendy thing nowadays. If you're going to do that, why do it the way that you did? And the ones that are, I think, especially egregious is Shaman King, Sayuki Reload, Zero In, and the big boy, the big offender, Shenmue, the animation. Explain to me, Will, like I'm 5. Like, okay, on paper that makes sense. Like, okay, you bring all these either hyped or well-established properties, but why do it the way that you did?
That's always hard to answer, though, and that is pretty much why it fits within this award category. We know how much people bank and value nostalgia. We know how much people care about bringing something back from the dead and reliving parts of their childhood or whatever, was something that was awesome for them.
And the rest of 2022, we already know, right? Bleach is coming back. We know, what was that one? The girl with the leopard print. I keep forgetting.
Yatsuri?
Right. That one's coming back with David Productions, right? Like, it should be good, right?
It should be fine,
right?
I mean, I have hopes for it, but in regards to Shenmue, well, they revamped the Shenmue game. They brought back Shenmue after like decades, and it was shit.
No, because it was that Kickstarter.
Yeah,
yeah.
Shaman King. I never watched the original series. I don't know squat about it at all, but I know it was pretty pivotal. 20 years in between. And it's middling success. But why people bring it? I mean, purely for the sake of nostalgia. Purely for the sake of banking on people wanting to relive something that they experienced in their childhood. That's literally it.
I think the ELI5 is a good award because it can be about anything that we don't understand, whether it's a character, a series, or even a trend. But for me, when you bring it back, just like do the right things, in my opinion. With Sayuki Reload especially, you're reintroducing the series after so long. You decided to choose the third arc of the 5 major arcs, and it has already been adapted several years, like many years prior. So it's like, why? That's all. Like, explain to me. Have the execs explain it to me, and then I'll be like, fine. Or maybe like, go fuck off.
I think they're just telling you to fuck off because you don't like it. Whereas there's like probably hundreds of thousands of people who do like it.
Maybe.
But again, I mean, like, there's a reason why I haven't watched any of it because, one, I don't care about them. Shenmue wasn't actually part of my childhood. So if you were to ask me why people cared about it in the first place, I can't answer that for you. What I am going to do, though, is have a shot at Sake and then ask what my ELI5 is.
Maybe we should have done it in retrospect the other way around. Obviously, we didn't know.
Oh, no. We're doing the stupid shit. That's what we're drinking stupid alcohol.
Like to punish us. Right, okay. So what's your winner, bro?
So this was a show that I kind of knew nothing about. Started watching it this season. Liked it. Thought it was really good. but then saw the score on my anime list, and it's a lot lower than I would have put the score to be. Now, I'm not talking about Shikimori. I'm talking about Aharen-san is indecipherable.
Okay. All
Now,
right.
I like so, and this will probably show up later on in another award that we have later on in this episode. But I have started taking on the whole cute girls doing cute things, fluffy, cute, bubbly, slice of life comedy shit. And there's a lot of good stuff I've watched, Aharen included. I quite like the show, but then when you see the score of 7.3, I think right now.
7.31. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's not terrible. It's not bad, but I found that there were some more entertaining plot points in Aharen than, say, for example, Akebi. And Akebi was a 7.6, 7.7, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll check while you go.
It's not like a huge ELI5's kind of situation. It's more just I found there were to be more entertaining moments within Aharen. I thought there to be more like comfy moments within Aharen, and I would have liked to see it go higher. I would have thought maybe 7.5, 7.6, a little bit more respectable.
So you said Akebi is, say, a 7 point what?
7.7.
7.8. 7.78. That's absurdly high. Like, way higher than I thought, actually.
See? So
like,
why
it's really good. I gave it a 9. Actually, I gave it an 8.
So that one is like, much higher than Aharen, but I actually quite like Aharen more than Akebi.
I think some of the gags in Aharen involving the teachers are really funny.
Yeah. So I guess is it just it might be as simple as different strokes, right? Like some people who like this may not like that, and vice versa. But like this is just from me. Like I really enjoyed watching Aharen, even though I'm a little bit behind it. And I would say that like whilst there is definitely a reason why people like watching Akebi, it's very one dimensional. It's just for that one specific reason why you like watching Akebi. Therefore, it just seems like it's kind of easy to give a higher score. Like there's a little bit more substance to watching Aharen. I'm not trying to be like snobby elitist and all that, but there actually are like things in Aharen which I felt were more thought out, more comical.
So I obviously don't have the quote unquote real answer, but I have my theory on it. Do you wish to hear it?
Well, why else are we doing a podcast?
Exactly. So
is it because of Komi?
Yes.
Okay.
Just like how Shikimori, I think, took a hit due to Modern from Dress Up Darling. And if you look at Akebi done by Cloverworks, they before that had Horimiya, which did exceedingly well, both of like very popular, let's just say, and it does look very good. Regardless of how you feel about the actual show, it is very popular. So I think that wave just carried it on, and it's much easier to swallow a pill of cute girls doing cute things when you don't have precedent of Komi can't communicate, which is almost like unfair to compare because one is been sought after for an anime adaptation since forever.
I would just like for people to give her more of a chance.
I really like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I do think it's not as good as Komi.
It's not tragic. Oh, but then again, like, but that's why Komi is like an 8.4, whereas Aharen being a 7.3, it just seems a little disrespectful.
It is.
But I guess you would say the same thing about why Shikimori is being so like harshly judged on my anime list.
I don't think Shikimori is as good as Aharen, but I firmly believe in the whole expectations from a previous work. Okay. My winner for ELI5 is why do seemingly terrible animes get second seasons?
This is just a question every season,
right?
Why is it stuff like in another world my smartphone getting another season? Why is it like
no? Because with that one I get it.
I'm standing on 100 million on a million lives. That one
that one is less so, yeah. But what was it?
Peter Grill got a second season,
but that one at least I understand because it's just degenerate shit. But with like what was it? Makebo Bomb or whatever got a second season. Remember that mecha anime that no one gave a shit about?
Oh, I guess. But then, so you're basically saying why do trash anime get sequels or like get greenlit for an additional season?
It's not about trash animes as much as I do not see why you would renew it. With Peter Grill, for example, it's just degenerate ecchi shit. But at least I could be like, yeah, okay, there you go. It's what it's advertised.
it's maybe money laundering. It's not money laundering. Tax fraud. Who knows?
I don't know. Like, so explain it to me, guys.
But the thing is, right? Like, there's always, whenever you look at like score distributions for an anime list, there's always enough of a chart for you to look at where, yes, it's very heavily weighted on like 5s, 6s, maybe some 7s. But there's always 1 or 2 people that give it a 9, even a 10. And we're talking shows that are like mid 5s, mid 6s. So there are definitely people who enjoy it. But then to follow on your point too, is it really enough people like that would give companies enough ammo to be like, oh, enough people liked watching this, we should totally do a second season of I'm Standing on a Million Lives or Peter Grill.
I mean,
or
with Mal,
whatever.
with Mal in particular being driven by community votes for scores, we understood like with AOT and Spy X Family and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood of having people like self-adjust the scores such that everything is the way it should be, quote unquote, right?
Oh, there's also people who like manipulate scores too.
Absolutely.
Every now and then you start seeing, oh, why is AOT dropping in the rankings? Oh, it's because people are being, assholes and trying to raise the score of a certain anime.
Or because they thought it was the final season when it wasn't, because it's part 2 is coming later. Like, I get that, I guess,
Yep.
but with certain shows like Beyblade, right? Like, okay, there's merch. Like, I just don't, just explain it to me. Okay.
I don't have the answers for you for that either. So it'll forever be an ELI5. Unless there's someone who's listening to this right now who can give us an answer as to why garbage shows get sequels and adaptations.
Yeah, just show me the numbers maybe. I don't know.
We're now going to move into the next award, which is the Fuwafuwari Award, or the award for the most chilled, most comfy,
Fluffy
anime or manga of this podcast season.
So tell me about Yuru Camp, Will.
Actually has, that's number 1, but I also have stuff like Slow Loop.
Mm-hmm.
I have stuff like Aharen in there too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite ready to put RPG Real Estate in there because it's actually not as fluffy as I thought it would be. There are fluffy moments and fluffy characters, but generally it's a very stupid show. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. But why Yuru Camp? Because they've got kuderes, they've got derederes, they've got just lovable characters who are really, really passionate.
They have Shiba Inus.
I don't really care about the Chihuahua, unfortunately. But it's just a very wonderful cast of characters who are passionate about camping, who just want to be able to spend enough time with good friends, good company, out in the wild, and cooking food on a gas stove.
I have never been that invested in a gas lamp in my entire fucking life.
You have a gas lamp?
No, but that arc.
Okay. I just like watching it because it's just fun to see someone being passionate about things, even if it is a fictional like story. Like, of course, these are just make believe imaginary girls going off and doing camping shit. But at the same time, like from watching that also then led me to get the right equipment for me to go on my own camping trips, and then like I'm practicing what I've seen, and it was when I did it myself, it was very comfy. Very fluffy.
Shout outs to the narrator who actually does a very good job kind of capturing the tone of Yuru Camp, I think.
It's a fun show. I like it a lot. Aharen is also, very, very fluffy and comfy as well, in a different way. A little more gag kind of meta way. So I like both for different reasons, but if I had to pick one that was like the fluffiest, comfiest, it has to be Yuru Camp.
So Slow Loop and...
Slow Loop is there, but the reason why it's because Slow Loop is Yuru Camp Light.
It is. It really is. I think we have really said...
Yeah. It's just that, it's easier to resonate with camping because I've done it before as a kid and I can still do it now. Whereas fly fishing is something that's a bit like you can't just really pick it up as a hobby, but you could definitely appreciate someone who's really into the hobby.
I learned about different baits.
And, when you see them like get their fish and actually make use of it, they're not just like fishing for fun. Sometimes you're also fishing, a sport, fishing for food. And when they have like horse mackerel, like sashimi, oof, that looked good. I like horse mackerel.
Primo. All right. My winner for the Fluffy Award goes to the 3rd season of Teasing Master Takagi-san. I think that they have developed the storyline so it's not just the same kind of pattern and formula. And I'm like almost 100% convinced that the movie that's coming out soon, I think in the summer in Japan, will tie into the announcement of the spin-off manga. So I'll just say that, and if you want to know why I said that, you can find out on your own.
So just to remind me then, right? Season 1 is on Crunchyroll.
Correct.
Season 2 is on Netflix.
Correct.
Season 3 is on High Dive.
Correct.
So the movie's on Disney Plus. To be determined.
I actually would not be surprised, and it totally makes
HBO
sense.
Max.
Like
Who
at this
knows?
point, right?
It's not out yet, right? It's
No.
yeah.
It's not even out in theaters. It's out in theaters first. Yeah.
Okay. So we have to wait for it and see. But so far, like the journey of Takagi-san, like you've enjoyed,
And
right?
I think the
'Cause I
third
think, like,
season
as
is
much as you've
Yep.
like you've liked the series so far. I think like per season was like a different review, like a different perspective. It's like each season did something very different from the others, but like progressively it just works. It does get better, and you do get like pretty invested in this relationship.
And especially at the end of season 3, the thing that everyone expects that would happen kind of happens, and then they say, "Oh, hey, check out the movie, guys," and you're just like, "Well, I know where this is going," that kind of thing. So it was really good. But I do want to spend a good deal of time talking about my runner-up. If you were to tell me that this show supersedes Shield Hero Season 2 on my anime list, I would say you're out of your goddamn fucking mind.
Oh,
Healer Girl is a show that...
you won't shut the fuck up about Healer Girl. But I mean, you like it a lot. You like Healer Girl a lot. I get that.
There was a school festival arc where they emphatically copied K-On! And it was done really well. I just did not know what else to say. The music is phenomenal. They tie into the more medical aspect of how, in this modern world, songs can heal you and how that can help you in a very amount of situations, and how they even go so far as to say, like, how would you help a pregnant woman with a child? Like, how does a song factor in? Oh, don't use this song because of that. And I'm just like, you don't need to do that, but that was kind of cool. So I was very pleasantly surprised by Healer Girl.
They reenacted a musical like childbirth. They sang a song at the right tones to be able to birth a baby.
They do something like that almost, yeah. Then
so all sopranos, no bass.
They call altos.
They have altos, okay.
Yes. And this might be spoiling a little bit. They have to take their exam to get the provisional license. And the rest of the day after that exam, they speak like Disney princesses for the rest of the episode.
I take it that there's nobody that's tone deaf in this series, huh?
Absolutely not.
It'd be a real shitty world to live in if you were tone deaf.
And the singing is really, really good. And not like Idol good, like Disney princess good. So...
Right. So you mentioned like the singing, you mentioned the premise, but like what about it though is fluff?
The slice of life part.
Is it just the singing? Is it just like the music, or is it like the whole? Yeah. What is so fluffy about it really?
They go about talking about their backstory, why they decide to be healers, and the different barriers that they have to cross to either convince people, or the common medical practitioner predicament of, I'm technically not licensed to help you, but you're almost dying in front of me. What should I do? Because I could be liable or harm you even. What should I do? And never expected out of a very fluffy singing anime. So
this sounds boring and dry as fuck.
I'm on board, bro.
I'm down. Why not?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, right?
So those are the fluffy awards for this anime season. Moving on to the next one, which
the
is
other side,
complete opposite side of the spectrum.
Nicknamed from Visual Prison. So thank you very much, Visual Prison.
The Prison of Eternity and Cruelty Award, which is the most painstakingly edgy, dark, almost cold anime or manga of the season. I've got one.
I got one.
My one's very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
It's Kaiji.
Got it.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah, no, there's just some really, really dark shit that happens in Kaiji. Not to say like, oh, this is like, like brutal and scary.
Isn't it quite? It is quite brutal. I mean,
brutal in the sense that it's not like visually brutal, but it's more like when you think about the consequences of the games they play, or like what was needed to be able to even survive in the world.
Yep.
It's fucking disgusting sometimes what people can do to others. And
hey, if loan sharks come after you, like in real life, like it is really bad.
They're just sharks. There's no loan sharks. They're just fucking sharks, man.
They just rip you apart.
They will fucking like eviscerate you. And when you think you're up, you immediately get pegged down and realize you're not even close to reaching the summit. You're still at the foot of this disgusting cold mountain, and there's no way you're going to survive, even if you get to the top. Because once you get to the top, best believe there's going to be someone at the top waiting to push you back down again.
My no contest winner is Tomodachi Game. For a multitude of reasons. First of all, it is the most cynical look at human nature.
But before you go any further, right? How many episodes did you end up watching?
Like 4 or 5.
Does it get better after the first episode?
Yes and no. I can go into why. It gets better as in the depravity of how asshole these people are increases. So I guess in that way, it's actually interesting, and the story, if you can even call it that, progresses, and who's done it or who didn't mind games. But it's not like very visually appealing. It's just very whatever.
Generally, just people are pieces of shit if they really want to be.
Yeah, and I think in a way it should have the aesthetics and gusto of Kagegurui, because it sounds like something that Kagegurui would do, but they play it very dry and very flat. Like, here are some friends that watch them fall apart and hate each other, but they kind of don't. Maybe they love each other. I don't know. Everyone loves everyone but hates everyone. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Like, it's just not very compelling to me.
But edgy nonetheless, right?
The amount of shit that people go through in that show and they inflict on each other is so unnecessary to drive home the point that, hey, human beings can be fucking scum. Your friends? You think you're friends with your friends? Nah, son.
Yeah, I think my issue with it was just because there was like all these other kind of shows, mangas that I've watched and read in the past that in the end, Tomodachi Game kind of just ranked a lot lower.
Yeah, like Liar Game is infinitely better.
Oh, it's amazing.
I haven't seen that much of Alice in Borderlands, the live action, even though I think there's a second season announced.
It's coming out soon.
But the manga came out. I read it. It was like good. It's good.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just boggles my mind that Tomodachi Game, even though I don't think there was an English release yet, has an 8 point something for the manga.
Oh, it's very, very, like, very highly rated, very popular.
And it seems like maybe later on there's more to the story, so I don't know. But
at the moment, it's just edge with no substance.
It's just terrible, honestly. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, shout out to all the people that do like Tomodachi Game, but, if you like Tomodachi Game...
ELI5 me this.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Liar Game is way better. I'm sorry.
It's definitely way better.
All right. Yeah, we talked about some real sad shit. Let's just, let's not one back, and then we'll move on to the next award.
Which one? What's the order, actually?
Oh, God. Woo! The next one I have is the Thinking Man's Award, which is the anime or manga that provoked the most thought and discussion.
Kotaro Lives Alone is the winner because
I had Den-O Coil as my one.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's talk about that.
Den-O Coil is fun, actually. It's okay. It does take a little bit of time to get into, and
it's like 22 episodes.
It's
right?
24. It's 2 curves.
Oh,
Yeah,
2 curves.
Yeah. So it's pretty much like what you imagine Digimon to be, but with more serious undertones. In that people actually do die. Like, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's
What?
Yeah, Den-O Coil's pretty fucked, dude.
What?
Not as in like no major characters you know of. It's like people don't die, but the idea of death, the idea of loss and grief, the distortion of reality, all those kinds of plot points are very, very real in Den-O Coil. It's one of those shows where it's like it's kind of like Digimon, where it's definitely created and portrayed as a kid's show, but they don't treat kids as kids. They know damn well that kids are a lot smarter than they really are. And so they start introducing some really heavy topics that you wouldn't expect to see in the kid show.
So Google Glass, the anime, the guy, the director and writer and script writer is legit with Den Coil.
It's good. I fully vouch. I know you had your issues with Orbital Children.
It really makes me mad in a bit because I knew that Den Coil was better in terms of pedigree, but I was like, hey, let's see the most modern thing. So, yeah.
It's good because it definitely taps into the idea of like reality in the sense where like, we're watching like The Matrix, right? What's real, what's not. Are our lives really predetermined? Is there ways for us to break the mold and be free, so on and so forth? Den Coil taps into that as well, but you're asking these from the perspective of a child. There are issues, of course. You know, the fact that the kids are supposed to be only 10 and 11 years old, but they sound like they're adults. The way they talk is also very, very mature. So there is like some sort of jarring juxtaposition of what the characters are supposed to be, but the way that they think, it's like they're thinking way more mature beyond their years.
As a side note, if I'm remembering what you said about Den Coil, didn't you also say that the character designs were very, like, the same?
Yes.
So it's really hard to tell.
There are times where it's like, I know that's the character's name, but that character looked exactly like another character.
So you use the voice.
Yeah. And so like you have to go back to the voices and the names, but it's like you can't remember them all because they're always like in the same frame. So you can get actually pretty mixed up on who you're talking about. But those inconsistencies aside, I think you could definitely find a lot of discussion to be had from watching Den Coil. It's very rich in its text. It's very, very deep. And look, had I watched it as a kid, watching it as an adult, I probably would have said the same questions. Why is this world so fucked up? It is a very, very, very deep analysis into what makes society worth living.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are very poignant.
But you wouldn't expect a kid that's like 10 years old to be thinking about this,
no.
Right? You don't want existentialism to like just all of a sudden like be on the forefront of a kid's mind and they just dread their very existence.
They should be worrying about which playground we should play on.
Which is what the first part of Den Coil is. They're just using these AR Google glasses to alter the reality.
Like it's all fun and games until
like,
it's not, right?
It's a wall. Oh, here's a wall. But if you put the glasses on, you're playing Pong. You're playing Tetris. Oh, you see that little dust bunny over there? What dust bunny? Put your glasses on. Oh, that's not a dust bunny. That's my dog. Oh, cool. Did you have a real-life Tamagotchi over there? A real-life pet. But they're not real because they're just AR.
Maybe I should retroly rescind my Oshinoko runner-up position and just put Den Coil.
You should definitely check it out.
Because honestly,
like, check it out.
I'm pretty convinced now more so than ever. Even though Oshinoko should be really dope,
it is
too.
A slow grind, though. It does take a while to build up. There are parts in like Den Coil where like this is absolutely not necessary.
But I don't have to wait week to week, so I'm okay because I can binge it, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So that's absolutely good, right? Imagine waiting week for week; it might be bad. My runner-up, no surprise, is The Garden of Words. Kotaro Lives Alone, I think, promotes a lot of thinking, philosophical conversations with everyone, but in terms of internal thoughts and conversations with my own self, The Garden of Words really resonated with me. It's really hard to resonate the same with other people because they just haven't had those same experiences and occupations that I have.
You like chocolate and beer, huh?
Pretty good.
Not as a good combo though.
No,
that just sounds gross.
No,
but watch it. Like The Garden of Words
is
a good movie.
I think tea. The student, the guy drinks tea with chocolate. Yeah,
which is a good combination.
That's not bad actually.
Like you have a really strong matcha tea with like with
Johnny Walker.
Yeah, I think that's a good mixture there.
All right.
Not matcha and Johnny Walker. Don't say that.
I've been to karaoke bars, dude.
Okay. Don't do that.
Okay. No, I have done it.
I know, but don't do it again. Learn from your mistakes.
All right. What's next?
Well, now we're going into the Get On That Shit Award, which is, we keep saying we're going to watch this, watch that. But really, when are you going to go and do that shit?
So this award is
more
mainly
for the other person,
more than for the other co-hosts, right? So Will,
when am I going to finish Jormungand, right?
That's actually not on it.
Is it Jormungand or
Jormungand
or Jormungand?
Jormungand.
Okay.
I've given up on that already.
Wow. Okay.
So my runner-up is, and my winner are two mangas. Die Dark is the runner-up.
Yep.
And really, Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter is the winner.
Breathing. Okay.
If you like realist and that kind of dry shit, That's all they talk about. An accomplishment of a duke's daughter. It's awesome.
I've got two, but one is like super obvious. Like, yes, you should watch Ranking of Kings.
Yep.
But the one I'm actually interested to see if you will get round to watching and then potentially reading afterwards is Tokyo Revengers.
Okay.
Because I think that when they played that time travel aspect, it's very much like Erased, right? They have the same premise. Something goes wrong in the past and you have to fix it. And so therefore they keep on jumping back between times to be able to rectify mistakes, save people.
Time travel is fucked, yo.
Yeah, and it's when watching the anime, right? Watching Tokyo Revengers, it doesn't really get that deep. But as you start reading the next arcs of the manga, holy fuck, it is good.
Okay, well,
Tokyo Revengers is really, really damn good.
I do think I will get at it some point sooner rather than later. Who knows? I do have one question about Tokyo Revengers that hopefully you can answer right now. So, time traveling obviously is if you don't know about that with Tokyo Revengers, then I'm sorry we spoiled it, but you should know.
That's the main premise.
They initiate the time travel by shaking hands, right?
Yep.
Shouldn't that not be the signal because you shake hands with a lot of people all the fucking time? Or is it with specific people?
It's with that specific person.
So you can never shake hands with that person because once you do, back in time.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you have to have some sort of shtick.
No, but okay. No, I get that. But it was just more like impractical because you shake hands with a lot of people. That's all.
But it's just that one specific person.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why.
I didn't know.
Okay. I was going to say, right? In a race, you just have to hope that you can travel back in time, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, oh, I have a feeling that I'd travel back in time. Whereas this one's like, I will travel back in time
if we initiate this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not as like, oh, as long as you shake someone's hands, it's not like that straightforward, not that simple.
Because I thought like, then shaking hands is a danger.
And you're gonna be butterflying affect everything. Like literally, you cannot just go around shaking hands because you're just gonna change the course of time constantly.
That's really what I thought. Okay. So then that answers my question. Okay.
Yeah, there is a little more procedure to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Now this one is the word that actually took me a while to think about, but in the end, I've got an answer for it. It is the Curiosity Killed Neko-Chan Award, the anime or the manga that essentially we wanted to check out just out of curiosity, and it totally got the better of us.
Yeah, like Schrodinger's cat is sort of the philosophy behind this award.
So what do you have for this one? I got just the one award, just the one outright
All right,
winner.
so let's just hear that first.
The Executioner and Her Way of Life.
Ooh. The spring 2022
Shoko no
Virgin Road or whatever.
Shoki Shoujo no Virgin Road. So this was at the beginning of the spring season. You and I were this is at a time when things were getting a little bit kind of messy in Hong Kong. We had to do home recordings.
We watched Your Boy Coming in the same day.
That was also one of those. Hey, let's just watch it. That's why it got Best Discovery, right? Because it was just like, why would this be any good? Just check it out. Oh, actually, this is really fucking amazing. But before that, we watched The Executioner and Her Way of Life because, hey, the trailers kind of looked decent. It wasn't a bad studio that was doing it. It looked like it could be pretty good. After watching one episode, it could not have been the most like try hard, edgy, fucking anime of the season. And I'm glad to see that it's not doing very well in terms of mouse score as well. Not being salty or bitter. I just felt like this was something that could have been good. It could have been like it could be like a 7.5 or 7.6. As long as like it's a very middling, decent show. But after watching that first episode, it just felt so empty. Like some of the stuff just didn't stick. Like why are they being so like edgy for nothing?
Yeah. No. I am quite on board with your way of thinking. What I will add though is I outsourced some of my anime consumption of I don't really want to check this out, but I want to make sure I'm not wrong with certain people. And the result that came back was Executioner and Her Way of Life, as well as what was that other show? Shit, that I'm thinking of.
Is it the Kunoichi one?
No. Shit. Now I have to look back. But anyways, it's better than Otome game, Mob Otome.
Oh, that
Trapped
one.
in a mob, Otome, mob something, whatever. Mob Otome Isekai. the word on the street from this source, my insider source, it's better than you think. But with Mob, the manga is way, way better because the animation is shit, and Executioner actually ramps up quite a bit. So
the score doesn't seem to be telling me that.
Yeah, and then I'm like, yeah, but I actually said that exact same thing. And then this person very accurately told me, I told you to watch Banished from the Countryside, and what was your opinion? And I was like, well, fuck. Yeah. It was like a 6 point something, and I gave it an 8. Yeah, okay. So, who knows?
That's true. We're basing it off of one episode, but just from that one episode, it wasn't enough for me to carry on.
Not everybody would give it the 3-episode rule or even a 1-episode rule, right? So who knows, right? Okay. My runner-up is Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045.
It's a good show. It's not a good show, but it's a good show.
I really wanted to like this show. I didn't. I was offended. I was hurt.
I mean, if you take away the whole Gits thing, though, right? Like, would you at least say it was a decent show?
It is a decent show.
But then when you stick this is actually part of the Ghost in the Shell universe, that's when it's like,
that's when it bothers me. I'm not trying to say that, hey, it is not a good show.
Because the 3D is actually pretty good.
It's extremely fluid, but when you add in Ghost in the Shell, in fact, if they just said some sort of cyberpunk genre thing, instead of saying Ghost in the Shell, I had expectations of what Ghost in the Shell was, because you have the original movie, the sequel, Innocence, as well as, Standalone Complex itself. It has a certain aura, philosophy, tone. And Standalone Complex 2045 had none of that to me. The only good thing that came out is the opening is pretty dope.
Oh, the music is great. The music's really good.
I also took the liberty to listen to the second opening, which was done by the same people who did the first opening, and equally dope, to be honest. So there's that.
So that was your runner-up then.
When the world is about to end, you can only think of, if I'm the only guy on Earth, I'll just fuck a shit ton of women.
Busted nut.
That's the plot of World's End Harem. And the whole production thing of that show delayed, and what it ended up looking like is so bad. It has zero redeeming factors, and I'm even including the degeneracy part of it. Because obviously that's the main appeal. The censoring is really fucking terrible.
It's not even censoring. They just basically decided to black out the screen, but like in a very, very bad way.
Like pixelated, like, hey, glitchy shit. And I'm just like, my dude.
It took you how many months to do this?
Like, they delayed one whole season. Yeah. Like one whole curse worth. Yeah. Like, fuck.
Would you say this is like one of the biggest fails in anime?
No, because then you're also giving World's End Harem itself a lot of credit, which you shouldn't.
But it is, I mean, how are we giving it credit by saying it was one of the most tragic failures of anime that's come out? Like, acknowledging it doesn't mean we're paying in any respects, by the way.
Okay, I see. Then,
you know what I mean?
I think it is trying to please both sides of being enough to air it.
Because we look at it like a meme.
It needs to be hentai. It has to just be hentai, hardcore. Like, just go all the way, bro. You will get more followers that way instead of what you got. Because what you got was nothing. All right.
Yeah, they should just...
Would I still watch it if it was uncensored? Probably not, because it's still stupid.
They should probably just gone down the redo of Healer track, right?
Shall we go to that award?
The undo of Healer, which is the bring this back to the blueprint, do the shit all over again, come back when you have a better product. This is for any anime or manga that we have consumed, and we felt that, look, it wasn't bad, but like you guys could have done a much, much better job.
Yeah, maybe the source is really good, or maybe on paper all these things have it going for it, but then the finished product is terrible.
In a way, it's not to say this is like the most disappointing. It's like, for sure, we have watched some stuff where it's like, bro, you just like, you told me this is. It's not like, for example, like me, I didn't have Bubble for my award for this one.
I didn't either.
Which one do you have?
Okay, so your runner-up was Bubble?
No, I had runners-up was Bubble, but my main one was Ryman's Club.
Okay, all right.
Because you could see, right? Like, I mean, that was the whole reason why you just said, "Hey, you should watch the first episode." You could see the direction that Ramen Club was going, and if they didn't pitch so hard on the whole salaryman part, where they're going around and selling drinks, and just focus a bit more on like the actual sports of the series, there could have been a little bit more hype. There could have actually been a little bit more consistency of quality from episode 1 and beyond, but instead it just is like a slow trajectory down. What they should do is just take it back, take out all the parts where they're in the office and just, giggling shits and all that, like just actually focus more on the badminton aspect. I know it's not necessarily like the whole premise of the show, but it's also the best part of the show.
There was one episode, I think it was 4 or 5, which was the last episode that I watched, where I will spoil it because it's actually not that big of a spoiler. Main character working on a project proposal falls asleep in front of his computer and accidentally clicks delete instead of save, and then spends the rest of the episode trying to recover that proposal while also going to the next tournament bracket with this other company. And I was like, just go to the competition part. I don't care about you guys doing like physical humor, tripping over yourself, trying to solve things, and bow in embarrassment. Like, that's just terrible shit.
And they aren't good at doing that part.
No.
But they're really good at making like those badminton matches fucking exhilarating.
I do think that first episode was rock solid.
It was raw, but it was good.
It was good.
Like, there's like parts where it's like, okay, some of the action sequences could be a bit better, but you can see what they're trying to do, and they do just enough for you to be like, this is fantastic. Like I could if this was the only thing I needed to watch, I could give it an 8 out of 10 right there, right then. But then when you watch more, it slowly deteriorates down to a 7, maybe a 6.5. It's not absolutely garbage, but there was so much that could have been done that I think if they just took this back, redid those scenes, added a bit more emphasis on the actual badminton part, you have a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 show. I think you could. That's why I had Rabbin's Club as a number 1. Bubble, I think they've done everything they could already. I don't think they can take it back and free, because it would just be a complete different experience. I think forever we should just look at Bubble and be like, this is a really good music video, but that's all it is.
All right, I need to take a shot before I tell you the winner of my Undo of Healer.
Is your one a very heavy one?
I'll finish the rest.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Because that's really it. Okay.
Remind me that we shouldn't get this one. It's not bad, but wow.
Requiem for a Rose King is my winner for Undo of Healer.
I completely forgot about that one.
This is a show that went from a source material of over an 8.0 on my anime list, also massively popular, the manga, into the worst seasonal anime. I think it was like a 5 point something right now. And they did 2 curves of it. So, holy shit.
I mean, where do you start? Because like from day one, when you were talking about it, you're like, there's actually a lot of influence from classic culture, classic literature, and I really think that if they take the time to build this, it'll be what's going on. Who are these characters? Why is this plot falling down?
Yeah, because it
Holy
talks
shit.
about like Prince.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see the manga score? The manga's actually really fucking good. What the fuck did they do with the anime? How did they do this? Dude, I'm watching more. I don't understand what's going on. Why is it so bad? Well, how could they do this to Requiem of Dream? Requiem of Rose King.
So they it is based on certain historical events like the Battle of the Roses. It has like that Romeo versus Juliet vibe. It talks about real life figures, or it'll dramatize like King Richard. I mean, spoiler alert, he becomes a king. He's a prince. And there's a lot of like androgynous nature of Richard himself versus a myriad of love interests, both homosexual and heterosexual. It is such a bad anime.
Do you remember what the score for Rose King is right now on my anime list?
What, the manga or the anime?
Well, obviously the manga is an 8 something, right? It's I'm talking about
5.65 was the last time I checked.
When was the last time you checked?
Or was it 6.5?
No. When was the last time you checked? Was it like a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
I don't know. Probably
Because it's a 5.49.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, dude,
Fuck.
it's like almost like 0.2 points down.
Yeah, like it is so tragic. And they did 2 curves of it too. Like,
So whenever you see these kinds of shows and the tags are like, there usually is like quite a few different tags with like these kinds of more ambitious shows. Like it's got action, drama, historical, shoujo, supernatural. That's quite a lot of heavy tags to have in there.
to be fair, all those tags are accurate.
But does it all come together though?
No.
Right? That's the problem. Where it's like you could be as overachieving as you want to be, but there has to be like an outcome to all those things put together. You can't just say, "Oh, this is like a wonderful shoujo supernatural shit," because there are some really good supernatural shoujo series, right? But they have to come together.
I got so mad. I read the first volume of the manga and I got even angrier
Because it was good.
because it was good.
How do you feel about JC staff? They're the ones who made this
They
this
can go
tragedy.
fuck off for all I care. Although, if you're gonna do Railgun, seems like you put all your money there. So look,
Just do what you do. Do what you do. Just don't fuck up Railgun.
look, you call Railgun S the second season, so it's second.
Oh, you also
Railgun
got-
T for the third, so Railgun F.
Well, I mean, they did a good job with Demon Girl, right?
It was all right.
Next door.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was not bad.
It's all right.
But they always. I mean, for every Demon Girl next door, they have her the executioner and her way of life.
JC Staff has this thing where it is extremely apparent to me where they put their budget with certain shows and not with certain shows.
The thing is, right? Like they're perpetually like in the sevens. Demon Girl next door is a 7.86.
Yep.
Realist is a 7.47.
Yep.
Peter Grill is very, very terrible. Then you also have,
But it's the etchy thing, so
then you also have House Husband, which is
Yep.
7.52.
But that one's
Which one's this one? Shinigami Pochan, the maid, Duke of Death.
Oh yeah. So that one is really popular too. Has a second season announced. So yeah, like
Yeah, that one's a 7.8. Arias are always good.
rock solid.
But then you also have stuff like Wick Sauce. You have stuff like
Don't forget the main culprit, the season 2 of a certain show.
that doesn't exist, right?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So you want JC Staff to win. I like JC Staff when they're good. Like when they make Shokugeki fucking good, right? When they do stuff like Realist, it works. But then they remind you that, we can also do some really terrible shit. Here's the Executioner, her way of life. Here's Rose King.
It has to be budget allocations and talent allocation because they are a big and successful studio. They clearly have good works. So why are some of their works terrible?
It's just like, hey, everything's going well. We're getting a new green light for Demon Girl next door because season 3 coming out. Oh, Railgun's doing really, really well. How do we ruin everything else? Why don't we release?
because we have no time and money and talent. Okay, well,
And actually, like,
yeah.
the last episode of Rose King only came out like 3 weeks ago. It's
two
still
curves.
running.
Yeah,
it's still running
it's
right
2
now.
curves. Yeah.
So the score could actually get worse.
Yeah.
It's 5.49. It could go down to like a lower 5.
Look, we live in a world where I thought Shield Hero will not be below a 7. I even said that on the podcast, and now it's like a 6.8 or whatever.
It's scary how low Shield Hero is, but
so I think
would you rather watch Shield Hero or Rose King?
that's actually a good question because part of me want to say Rose King, but I can't. It has to be Shield Hero.
You were pretty pained when you were watching like Rose King, especially because you tried to enjoy it.
Well, also with Shield Hero, I read the manga, so
You kind of knew what to expect.
I knew what
right?
to expect. I just didn't expect it to be this disappointing. With Rose King, I was really yelling at the screen and trying to be like that abuse victim to justify the abuse, to be like, no, but Rose King was really nice to me. There's a lot of potential. I can fix Rose King, that kind of bullshit. Like, okay, I've gone on a bit about it.
But it can be fixed, right?
No, clearly it didn't.
Oh, well.
Well, if you bring it back to the drawing board, maybe.
Maybe. So we go on to we're actually getting very close to the end of the awards. The next award is the hey guys, just let me explain award, which is the there are some things that when we watched we felt this is actually kind of gross. This is actually kind of
I got 3.
You shouldn't be watching this in public, but hey, no shame here. I'm not ashamed of it.
Or like, hey, you just walked in on this. Just let me pause this and explain it to you. There's context, guys.
I've got 2.
I got 3.
World's End Harem is one of mine.
It's my quote unquote real winner because, like, what? Like,
do you really care what happens to the guy and where he does end up finding his childhood friend?
No,
because part of me does. I do actually hope that he finds it, but at the same time, it's also very, very, very pointedly clear that they don't give a fuck if he can find his childhood.
Well, he also does not give a fuck, literally, too.
He don't give no fucks.
Like,
no
that's what I don't understand. Because if you really assume that you are in that position, I would do pretty much 0, or maybe like a little bit in the beginning of what this main character did, and then give up on it very soon after.
But that's because he can't give up on his clean, pristine virgin penis. That's it. His virgin penis is only allowed for his childhood friend that he promised to love and care for,
who just so happens to look exactly like the handler that takes care of him.
Right. And she wants him to put his penis in her.
And everyone else.
And all the other women are like, it's a penis. Oh, give me your penis. That's literally what the show is.
Like, it is so offensive on so many levels with so many demographics that at least you should do it trashy, but you didn't.
So
you just did it poorly.
I understand that, male semen for some reason hasn't survived, and that's why there's no men. But you ever tried like IF? It's like, no, we think we tried it. It didn't work because women brain, women body don't work like that.
Hey, guys, listen, okay? This virus kills all men. What should we call it? The man-killing virus, bro. That is some next level 360 no scope. So in this world, there's no more dudes, right? Yeah. So there needs to be a government. Yeah. So there's like a United Nations, right, for representing different countries. What do you call it? UW.
United Women.
Like, fuck off. That is so lazy.
Yeah.
In a way, I give them credit because that's the type of...
This is what you expect in terms of porn/hentai level plot.
Which is fine, except they don't go that direction.
Right? Like, what you said is like 110% true. If they had just turned this into a hentai, it would absolutely be fine.
They paid way too much attention to their shitty story and not turned it into the porno of the week with this different type of girl.
This could have been, this generation's Bubble Black.
Honestly,
it could have been.
High probability if it was done well.
But unfortunately, it's just like, this guy's just, he just wants to fuck his best friend.
And the rest of years, people will have to say, guys, let me explain, okay? For World's End Harem. But, well,
you had 2 others, right?
Yeah, so your boy Kong Ming, I think, is the most positive surprise.
Where it's like, why the fuck should I watch this? Like, let me explain to you why you should watch this.
It's like, so this guy does music, but he is a Chinese tactician that got reincarnated in Shibuya. What the fuck does that mean?
And then there's this girl who wants to be like a J-pop star, but now has to start a rap battle.
And the opening apparently is really good. Who cares about openings? I skip openings.
Oh, I not this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Do not skip this one.
But my runner-up for Guys Let Me Explain is Akebi Sailor Uniform, because there are some of those footages and scenes that are extremely lewd.
It's
edging,
my bro. At that point, you're just like, this is just
softcore porn.
It's softcore lewd.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Because it's not full on lewd.
Like Miru tights, right? Like,
but Miru tights, it's very clear why people watch it. Whereas Akebi is a little bit different because it still goes for that air of innocence. It works, which makes it feel so wrong.
Like, I have never seen 2 girls like splash water at each other in a pond and have it look that
so innocent, but also so like, oh, I feel dirty watching this.
Exactly, right? Or like, hey, it's raining, our clothes are wet, let's hang it up and dry. Yes, stereotypical scene, but it's done in such a way that you're just like, I better make sure no one else is around me.
Hey,
or else
I'm doing this art project. I'm actually going to be taking photos. Mind if I use you as my test subject?
Oh,
sure,
Jesus.
No problem. Okay, yeah. Just stand over there. Cool. Now take your shoes off. What? Yeah, just see your natural beauty. Yeah. Now take your socks off.
Let's see the contour of your lips type shit.
Let me see your toes. Let me take the pictures of your toes.
And here's the thing, right? They don't play it off as like, horny girls.
It's not sexual, but because of the way that they like angle the shots and then they portray them, it's just like
No,
yo, like,
it is purely sexual, but only to the viewers because legitimately inside the anime, those girls are doing innocent shit.
having fun being innocent.
Like, honestly.
But like, we're the creep for watching this shit.
And the camera angles and the oh Jesus, it's a good show though.
Yeah, so like, come on,
It's a very heartwarming show.
if people were like, "Why, dude? What the fuck's wrong with you?" Like, dude, just calm down.
Just let me explain, guys.
Yeah.
All right, what's our next
The
category?
one I actually had was
Yep.
so I completely skipped Akemi. That's actually a really good shout. I actually had Blend S for my one.
Good call. Good
And
call.
it's not
because
so much
like maid cafes also have a certain negative connotation, right?
And also, it's like, why would you watch this? Like, it's not even like an amazing show. It's a very middle of the road 7.4. But the reason why I watched it is because of the memes. I just wanted to see the smile, sweet, statistic, surprise, the opening sequence, and then everything else was just like, like
So the opening is really good, but I will
it's
give
very memorable.
I will give credit to Blend S that their One-san character is legitimately good or decent, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But there are parts of it too where it's just like
definitely.
you
Yeah,
know,
no. I know.
it's a little bit
Bro.
a little cultured.
Like Ero Manga Sensei cultured, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's our next award?
We're getting into the crunchy part now, which is you're on thin ice. You fucked this up again, and we can't forgive you. This is the anime or manga related thing. It could be news, it could be trend, it can even be a series that we just want no part of. We just stop it, guys. It's enough. For me, it's just very, very straightforward. And I will double down a bit on it because I know there are people who would take offense to it, but cancel culture. It goes without saying that this is something that bleeds into any facet of life, whether it's like we've seen with anime, we've seen with live action, we've seen in like real life, right? Like who hasn't seen or heard what the fuck's been going on with with the turds, right?
Yeah, there you go. Not every day fiction could be nonfiction.
Every day we try and we stray further and further away from the world that God made for us. And
How can lawyers be that incompetent? But okay, look, I'm not a lawyer, so
these are also entertainment lawyers too, right? Like
they get paid millions to act like that.
yeah, but I mean, if you think about it too, there are also doctors and beauticians that like do the same job that most other doctors do, but because they're based in Beverly Hills, their practice is in Beverly Hills, they could charge 10 times the price, but they're doing the exact same thing. It's showbiz, baby.
I think cancel culture is a double-edged sword in modern society.
Yeah, I'm not saying straight up like fuck you for trying to cancel somebody. I'm more thinking like we have to be very careful with how we go about doing it.
And unfortunately, some people don't take it as seriously or think about the ramifications outside of themselves.
Like, okay, we go back to the Spy X Family cancel attempt, right? Like, why did that person do it? It's very clear. They were generating views. They were generating clicks. They were trying to get pop. And oh, sure as shit, that person's videos were fire. People were like fucking watching it, clicking it. It was perfect clickbait. The comments, on the other hand, though, were telling him or her, I can't say their gender. I don't know what they are. Yo, you can't just go around spreading lies. Like, this is slander at this point.
I just really think that people need to be more responsible.
Yeah. You have to be aware that if you are going to do something, that you should be ready to accept the consequences of your actions.
I think that is really it, right? That's
if you try and like, it's the same thing where it's like I think K-pop fans are a little too hardcore with their bands or like singers they really really like. But then am I going to all of a sudden call out all the Blackpink fans, the BTS fans? Hey, I might not like the music, but I'm not going to be like try to like segregate like a whole group of fans because I don't want them trying to dox me. I don't want them to try and like cancel me. There has to be limitations to like how far you take cancel culture with or without evidence.
That's my main issue too, is if you even take out this person's motive, if you even take out the forgery or alleged forgery of these articles and websites, no evidence was given, very little context was given, and it is just not a fair shake to say what this person did or no, what this person claims. And it extra hurt because also we adore and consume the manga. So
I mean, like, we were pretty angry.
I was hella angry.
So
We made so many like verbal wording errors because we're so mad.
So the thing with this as well, it's like I'm not like trying to outright say stop cancel culture. I'm saying we need to be much more responsible with how we go about trying to cancel something or bring attention to something in an effort to get it canceled, because sometimes you could say something that is completely out of depth and people will hear you. People will be very, very hurt by what you say.
So my runner-up, very well said, Will. So my runner-up for the Thin Ice Award is adapting good manga source material, please. I already said this earlier with Undo of Healer, but with Requiem for a Rose King, Mob Otome Isekai, Tomodachi Game, there are scores or reviewers' testimonies to indicate that it is probably a legitimately good light novel or manga. But also, not a lot of people consume that. A lot more people consume anime. So when you vomit out those products, people are going to take it at face value and not care about the manga source.
And what's sad about it as well is when you see those kinds of quote-unquote adaptations, you clearly can tell it's a cash grab,
Yeah.
right?
And the source material is there for you to follow, right? And also, when people say, oh, go read the light novel, go read the manga, that's better, a lot of people, including ourselves, is very easily not dissuaded by that notion because we think that, like, that is all of a sudden a pass for the anime, which is actually a fair thing to say.
I mean, like, unfortunately, I feel like we're in this day and age now where it's harder and harder to get something to be fully adapted. You know, like a lot of stuff, it's like you get the one season. You might get a follow-up second part or a second season. But to get something that is beyond 8-10 volumes and actually fully adapted to, like, the best of its ability, as loyal as it is, I don't know.
And people tend to forget anime is used...
Is it harder to find out? It is harder to find nowadays.
Yeah, and people tend to forget that anime is still used and originally was used to promote the source material, to drum up excitement. So they don't always have to be renewed for season 3, 4, 5 because their job is to increase sales of the light novel or manga or whatever. So just do better with these adaptations because for all intents and purposes, the script is already written for you. Everything's laid out for you.
It's true too, right? Like if you're adapting this so to convince me to read the manga, but the adaptation is shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to read the manga.
I'm not going to give something a second chance.
Unless it's like, it's one of those like, oh, this was so bad. I need to see if the manga is better than the anime because there are cases where it is like that.
Yes, but I think it's a harder pill for people to swallow. Whereas, oh, this won't get a second season even though I want it to. But
it's cheap. It's cheap to be like make a very subpar product and then send it out to people to convince you, oh, this is what we made, but if you want the better stuff,
like Milo Monster is really good, and Milo Monster has ended the manga series. So if you like season 1 and hopefully for season 2, which won't happen, then you can read the manga.
And Milo Monster the anime is good
by itself. Yeah, that's my point. Okay,
but Domestic Girlfriend, on the other hand, yeah.
Okay, so you win some, you lose some. But the winner for Thin Ice is the conversation of mid and sevens in anime and manga. I am extremely exhausted having this conversation of mid or sevens being mid or 5 is technically mid. You know, things like... And recently it's just become more trendy to say mid.
What we're moving towards now is being average is being bad, essentially. Because when you say something is mid being right in the middle of the road should never really be. It is the defining thing that sets between good and bad.
But you see, the thing is that I don't think people even think of mid as middle. They think mid as like mediocre.
That's what I mean. So now we're like slowly attaching more negative connotations to something that really just means middle of the road. But and we're, again, I'm being very pedantic about it.
Yeah, and we use that term as well, mostly as a mocking thing, but we do use it, right? So we are perpetuating it.
I mockingly say, oh, that's mid, bro. That's a fucking mid-ass show. Yeah, I definitely do that. But at the same time, it's also, I try to at least back up what I say by saying, this is a mid show, but it's still like something that's worth watching, or at least decent.
Or at least it's mid because, right?
But for others, we know a lot of people, they'll be like, if it's mid, it's bad. Or if it's mid, erring on the side of being bad rather than being like very average. Because some people would say average is bad.
I mean, average is bad when you have so much to consume that are all exemplary and exceptional.
And again, that's where the context is necessary as
Yep.
well. If you're saying like, oh, you have 5 shows, you're watching 5 seasonals right now. Oh, you should check out a unnamed 6th seasonal. Is it a mid show? Yeah, then I'm not watching.
Like,
it.
I think Demon Girl Next Door is an extremely good show. I do not think you will like it. Or at least you don't have the taste that it is your thing. Not to say that your taste is worse or Demon Girl is better or worse.
Well,
it's just
it's
different,
It's
right?
also why like I would tell you to watch Ranking of Kings, but I would never tell you to watch Kaiji because I know Kaiji isn't your thing.
Right. Like, that's why I lean more towards the fluffy, wholesome shit because that's just what I'm into. But that doesn't mean that the edgy stuff is bad either.
Yeah.
Right?
But well, let's bring this back to the whole discussion of mid, right?
Yep.
It's a very easy word to throw out.
That's the other thing too with cancel culture as well, right? It is so easy to throw out that tweet, throw out that TikTok, to just say, distill a lot of people's hard work, regardless of the quality of the work, distilled down to one very, like, not nice thing to say. And of course, as reviewers or critics, that's your job to give a score or your opinion. But it's more than a score, more than a number. You should give context. And when you just say it's mid, immediately I think a lot of people will just be done with that conversation, be like, oh, I understand, that's it.
It's either done with that conversation or they're done with you. Because if you're just so quick to throw out the mid word, then it's like, well, then what do you really think about other stuff if everything is so mid to you? Or you're so quick to judge something as mid. There are certain anti-tubers where like I feel like they throw the word out a bit too casually.
It's like hipster,
And at that point,
anti-mainstream.
for me, it's like I see them as a personality, no doubt. But when it comes to judging their taste in anime or manga, like I don't take it as seriously anymore because if they're so quick to say, "Oh, that's mid. This is mid. That's not good. That's mid." It's like, but they never give me explanations as to why. Then I'll watch you for entertainment. I won't watch you for information.
So for movie critics like Roger Ebert, rest in peace, and a lot of other of these people, when they say things are compelling or visceral, or video game reviews, it just flies through me now. Even though I do use those terms, but hopefully I would give context to why I would say that. But it is so easy to say that nowadays with certain products. All right, so what's our next thing?
The biggest asshole of the anime and manga season.
Akito Soma Award, right?
Yes.
Named
I have one.
after Akito Soma from Fruits Basket.
I
What
have-
you got?
Time has been the biggest villain of this season of the GAP.
Oh, that actually is really good.
Because
Yeah.
holy fuck, I have had no time to watch anything or read anything.
I mean, earlier when we were having our lunch, we were talking about how much manga I have to read, and also for both of us, how many seasonals we have to wrap
I'm
up.
only halfway through the seasons right now.
I'm like at least 3 or 4 episodes behind multiple seasonals.
And then guess what? We're 3 weeks away from summer starting.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
we it's just hard, man.
And we have to finalize our seasonal bet too, which is good.
I mean, we have to maintain our jobs. We have like socials to look into as well. We have family stuff we need to look into. We have work stuff we need to balance out.
then
we got
there's like
podcasts.
COVID in the background, kind of.
COVID definitely made things really, really annoying.
Yes.
Right. So like when we would have been able to just go straight to the office, record stuff. No, now it's more like we got to re-coordinate where we're gonna meet up, how we're gonna do this. Our setups are different, and sometimes we may need to do stuff online. That's why, like, if we just had a little bit more time in the week, a little more hassle-free time, right? Then, hey, look, maybe I'd be watching 1 or 2 more episodes of anime every week. Maybe I'd be reading a volume of manga every week. Who the fuck knows? I would like to have some more time, though, for sure.
So my winner is Antarcticite 1 for the Spy X Family cancel culture from BP6, right? And we have talked at length about it, so I'm not going to go on about it. But what I will talk about, and I think is actually more important, is the runner-up. It is a character called Murdoch Swan. And this person had the gall, had the audacity to make a young little girl who likes peanuts cry during a school interview.
God. I remember now. I was
And-
wondering, who the fuck are you talking about? Is this some character from
Episode
Rose King?
4
Yep.
of Spy X Family, that interview scene with that guy. I had to wiki that shit and be like, I need to nail this motherfucker to the wall. You don't hurt Anya Forger the way you did.
Well,
You don't.
he got his comeuppance afterwards.
Yeah, and you don't like insult your forger the way you did, and then almost threatened Twilight to fuck the whole mission up. You are responsible for so much anger in me from that episode, which obviously you did your point. You did it very well as the villain. Good for you. I think that's a decent character for a short period of time.
Like, bravo, good villain.
Fucking asshole. Fucking asshole.
Anya's fine though. Anya got into school.
Just give her more peanuts. She'll be dope. She'll be good.
I don't like peanuts that much, to be fair. It's cool to see that she likes peanuts. On to the final award of today, the Jason Award. It's not as just simple as it's the
Okay.
It's the
No. We called it a specific name.
yeah.
We called it the Higarashi Award. Guys, we know it's called Higarashi, but the reason this award is reserved for me in particular is I have a lot of difficulties recalling certain factual things and pronunciations right away. I make that mistake every single episode with something. It's almost a given. So we have an episode dedicated to my worst blunders. In the past, it was cherry blossom or something like that.
cherry blossoms.
I think piss something. I said piss when I was supposed to say something else.
This time around, it's a little more straightforward.
What you got for me? Because I can't create this award myself. So
Omnipotent.
okay, that one is a bit unfair because you know how some people say nuclear.
Yeah.
I do
Or,
say
or espresso.
no, it's an S.
Yeah.
Espresso.
Yeah, that's what. But there's people who say espresso, even though it's an
But I
S
do
in it.
say espresso. But with omnipotent and omnipotent,
No,
that one's legit.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But
But
I stand my ground. I do call it omnipotent. Like I don't know why.
But outside of that, I think you've been really good this season. I mean,
No.
yeah, you will make like one or two small mistakes, but like
no, I make
you're talking about Japanese names, like with Japanese not being a native language of yours.
or like I would say digging deeper by say digger deeping or something. Like I think that was in BP6. I say young brother when I meant older brother because we were older siblings. Look, I made a lot of those mistakes.
but those are like small clerical things. It's
yeah,
not,
and it's really
not consequential.
it's
in any way.
impossible for us to go back and sort of amend ourselves. There's no
Yeah.
point. But big ones, omnipotent, omnipotent. That's a good one actually. I quite like that as the winner.
Dichotomy. That one wasn't so much a mistake. It was just like I had no idea that we would actually generate such heated debate over the use of dichotomy in Watanabe's episode. But that was a fun episode to record. Please check it out. So we're not done yet though. We've gone over the serious-ish awards. We've done the stupid-ish awards, but we are now into the final segment, which is the mystery section.
So originally, after this mystery section, Will and I were planning on talking a bit about how batshit insane 2022 has been for anime and manga. We will probably have that conversation later down the road somewhere as like probably bits and pieces. So we are ready now for this mystery section. Will, okay, let me set the stage, okay?
Okay, I don't know shit. I don't know anything at all. This is completely unknown to me.
When it comes to buying certain products, Will, what is a source that you tend to buy from?
You're talking about online, right? Like,
Yes.
Amazon,
Keep going.
eBay,
Keep going.
Carousel,
Something that all of our friends are into?
Kickstarter.
That's correct. Did you know, Will, that there's also a lot of anime Kickstarters as well?
Yeah.
So, what I have done here for
I
you,
think there's like card games, there's RPGs,
Yep.
there's
Mhm.
figurines.
I
hentai.
went through the drudge of searching almost every single anime Kickstarter and plucked out the best ones. So, I am going to give you, first of all, these are all real Kickstarters on Kickstarter. But
They may or may not be live, right? Or are they all live right
no,
now? Okay.
some are though.
Okay.
But I can tell you what I need you to do is first say whether or not they're funded or not. So that's the easy one, right? Funded or not funded. Then if you want extra points, either tell me something about what was the goal amount that they want, how many percent or how much money they ended up raising, or how many backers. Like all like that. Those are like
the
bonus
general
points.
information. Okay.
Yeah. I will also give you the
These are all real Kickstarters.
very
right?
real. I have the URLs all open in front of me. I will give you the name as well as their blurb, before you read like knee deep into what it is about. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Whew. These are all real, by the way. The first one is Waifu Wars, Best Girl Supremacy. Funded or not funded?
I think that one was funded. Yes, it's funded for sure.
Yeah, and?
I'd say this is funded, and they were seeking a total. Are we talking U.S. dollars or American?
Oh, wow. There has been new development. It has been taken down due to, and I quote here on our
Copyright
Kickstarter
issues?
page, a subject of an intellectual property dispute and is currently unavailable. But I have written it down as funded because it has exceeded like 4,000%.
I was gonna say it was down to copyright issues, right?
Yeah,
IP? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and I checked several days ago. That was live. So
Okay,
let's
four
move on.
thousand. I guess it's currently at right.
No, as in I can't check it because it's blocked.
but it is funded.
It is funded when I checked. So
I at least got 1 point.
absolutely,
I got 1 point at least.
could you do like a mental tally or something?
Yeah, sure. The points don't matter anyway.
Yeah, the points don't matter anyways. The second Kickstarter is called Anime Powers. Life is bland, gas prices are skyrocketing, and World War III could happen. Help me discover how to get anime powers so I can share my findings.
Wait. What? This is what's the offering here? What's the what do you get from this?
So if you want more information, I can give them to you.
But those are like lifelines. I would lose. Okay.
I mean, I mean, it's not like you can only use it once, but it's
Okay,
more like integrity of the game type thing.
Okay, this is kind of like when.
So don't forget, the main issue is funded or not funded, and then you get bonus points, and you should just try your best with the bonus points at that point.
This is something that is so stupid because you're asking people to fund you, like being able to get anime powers. It's like that person who did a GoFundMe page or a Kickstarter, for potato salad, and he literally said, "I'm making potato salad."
It was last updated May 30th, 2022.
So 2 weeks ago. I think it was not funded.
That is correct. It is not funded.
Okay.
Bonus points. How much money or percent?
I think
or
it's
what was the goal or whatever.
I don't. Getting the goal is gonna be tough, but I think it was.
Here, I'll even give you a freebie. The pledge. One of the pledge levels is, pledge $50 or more for Japanese video coverage of. Get video coverage of my discoveries while I'm in Japan.
This is okay. I'm guessing this is like 38% funded.
Incorrect.
Okay, how far off am I?
0 backers.
No, not a single backer.
The project funding was not reached on Monday, May 30th, 2022 at 11:33 a.m. UTC.
Jesus Christ! But
Completely zero.
But $50.
Yeah, yeah.
This person just wanted to go Jujutsu Kaisen, basically.
He's a scholar, right? He's trying to figure out if anime powers exist or not and report their findings.
Look, I get this is kind of one of those like /S kind of things where like, it's like the potato salad Kickstarter, but this one is even more kind of like in your face about it. It's just like I'm literally just going to go and pretend I'm an anime MC.
Yeah, like no bullshits. Like, let's try this.
Shonen is real. So I will be.
Let's
Shonen.
raid Area 51 with my Naruto run because that's gonna work.
Well, I guess. Hey, good for you. You've now been publicized on
the Good Anime Palette podcast episode number 36. That's correct.
Yes.
Your 50 minutes of fame has arrived.
Okay, so I'm 2 out of 2 in terms of getting it funded or not funded.
Now is my favorite Kickstarter. I do not condone what I'm about to tell you, but just know that this is a legitimate Kickstarter on Kickstarter.com. Mein Waifu is the Fiere, a parody visual novel. The entire German high command is turned into anime characters on the eve of World War II. Shenanigans ensue. Created by Happy Sunshine Games.
This was funded.
That is very correct.
I think as long as you say World War II and anime, like it absolutely would get funded.
Okay.
I think it got funded over 200%.
Close.
Oof.
So they have 2,417 backers. Their original goal of $8,000 was attained, and they earn a total of $87,659.
Wow. So wait, what do you get? You get a game, a visual novel.
So I feel that as at this point that I need to explain to you the highest tier available for Kickstarter. Obviously, it's closed, but it's successfully funded.
Right.
It's $500 for this tier, US.
Fuck. Okay.
It's called Fiere tier because fuck, of course, right? Want to be immortalized? Become a soldier in the game drawn based on the likeness, in addition to all other award tiers, which include Daiki Makura, a body pillow, a Mayan waifu patch, so a combat patch, a Mayan waifu keychain, a signed physical edition, your name and your credits, beta access to the main Mayan waifu is the Fiore, as well as the Steam edition, and of course, backlit access, I guess, because there might be more add-ons later. 5 backers.
Shit. Okay.
All right. Yeah, right?
I'm kind of taken aback that I managed to get that one correct.
The next one is Make SogenCon Happen, funding an anime convention. Do you like anime, manga, and video games and wish you could find people who share your interests? Support SogenCon and make new friends.
SogenCon? This is in the US, right?
Yes.
I don't think this was funded. I think it failed to get funded.
That is incorrect.
Oh, shit.
There's 109 backers. Okay?
Wait, how low is their backing limit?
And that is the interesting question. So you can either say what's the highest tier, what was their goal, or how much money they earned, whether in percent or dollars.
They had
like
100 backers?
109, yes.
So I'm guessing they only needed like $1,000 then, right? Like, it must have been like $10. Like, I don't know. What does it take to start a con?
Apparently, their highest pledge is $500.
And how many backers for that one?
8.
$4,000. 8 people backed a $500 back. Oh my god! What do you get for that one?
You will
What,
become
VIP backstage access.
Will, hear me out, buddy. You'll be given a lifetime sponsor level registration for all future SogenCon events and have our eternal gratitude.
Yeah, so you're basically going long on this. You are banking that there's enough of these SogenCon conventions and you'll get lifetime.
Look, DashCon worked out, right? So DashCon 2.0, right? Was that FurFest, I think was the another one? That was about furries, and it was just like crazy shit that happened. $15,000 was their goal. It was attained $15,606.
So just about. Wow, congrats. That's how much it costs to run a con? Okay.
I mean, if you want to con people, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, Jesus.
Our next Kickstarter is Raincoat Animated Pilot, an epic story about a 12-year-old kid and her super-powered raincoat fighting to protect her town from monsters and villains.
I don't like the way that you were saying that, because when you say it with that much oomph, it makes me feel like this should have been backed. But part of me thinks that's a red herring. But I might just go with that feeling and say, yes, this was funded.
That is incorrect. It was not funded.
See, that's what I was saying. You tried to give this so much razzmatazz to it that it must have been a fucking trick. How far off was it from getting funded?
15%
so almost
of
got there.
$10,000.
So I almost got there. So it only made $8,500.
No one pledged the highest tier of $1,500 or more. This tier includes an exclusive viewing of the completed pilot, 2 special thanks.
Oh, not just one, but
Yeah,
2.
a printed postcard, exclusive producer credit in the pilot, 2 posters, museum digital art book for some fucking reason, Raincoat special edition hardcover, soundtrack with bonus tracks, 2 times infinite rare, like why is it rare? Raincoat Origins manga, quote unquote limited amount, exclusive viewing of the full original Raincoat Senior Short, 3 fairy grade novelty trading card packs, 2 Raincoat one-of-a-kind character art, appearance in the pilot, I guess, as like an anime character, and a personal call from the creator of Raincoat itself. No one took this tier.
For $1,500, that sounds like it could have been decent, but I don't know shit about this Kickstarter, so I'm happy I was staying far away from it. How many more we got?
I got a bunch. It's just, when do you want to cancel?
When I want to stop backing these
Yeah,
Kickstarters?
when do you want to bail out?
I'll do one more. Do one more for now.
Oh, shit. One more? Fuck. I have to think then. Hold on.
Because you got me with that Raincoat one. I was really thinking it wasn't funded, but there's just something that's like, maybe that's the trick. Maybe I should just...
On Kickstarter.com is a Kickstarter called Ahegao, a spicy memory game in a booster pack. Last updated February 7th, 2022.
Wow, 4 months. Ahegao... What was this? Like it was funded, right? Surely it must be funded. It's Ahegao.
Nope.
What?
Guess how much they asked for?
$20,000?
Nope.
How far off am I?
Way, way off. You have to go in the other direction, my guy. Go lower.
Oh.
Standards are lower here these days.
What? Okay, fine. $10,000?
Even lower, my guy.
$5,000?
$800. The total amount that was funded is, and I quote, 2 backers only for the pledge of $25 US or more for the 3 booster pack bundle. It is 3 Ahegao booster packs. Each booster pack contains 18 cards, 1 load token card, 12 normal cards, same in every pack, 5 alternate art and Ahegao double piece cards. These are 10 different versions to collect.
So I started off pretty good. I had 3 out of 3, and then afterwards I kind of just, went off the rails and got every other Kickstarter wrong. I was very sure that one was going to get funded. It's Ahegao. People love Ahegao. Well, not everyone, but a lot of them do.
I have at least another 8 to 10 more, but we will hold it off for maybe another day.
Yeah, this is okay. Oh, I'm tired. Fuck. Okay. Well,
can I just say, my favorite was the Mind Theater because it's just absurd. But in terms of the one that is most unlikely to ever have anything possibly made out of this is Japanese Animation Studio and Gaming Village in Cannes, as in Cannes Film Festival, Cannes. Our Japanese village will include a gaming environment 360 degrees with 4K live satellite uplink for global connectivity.
Fuck off. I'm not guessing that one.
This is why I'm so happy that sometimes good prevails, because it asked for 40 grand US. It received a grand total, a staggering of $0.
People could see through the bullshit, right? We're not stupid. Yeah, sure. We might be blinded by hot buzzwords.
Oh, by the way, this is their page.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
So because this is a audio experience with the podcast, the visual of their kind of advertisement
you can't do that.
You
can't do that.
They basically use Miyazaki films and kind of show different years for different works. And
there was Totoro, there was Kiki, there was
Grave of the Fireflies,
Mononoke, Spirited Away,
The Wind Rises. Yep.
That you can't do that. How is that not one taken down? How is that one not being busted for IP theft?
I don't know, but it went through its successful funding phase, as in it didn't get taken down. It just got $0. Okay. So thank God for that.
So it was unsuccessfully funded. Okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately they delete their campaign ad, but I can promise you on my life I read it, and I should have like archived it or taken pictures because they had like little fucking domes that look like igloos. And I was just like, doesn't this look like the Firefest tents? But they were like, no, it looks like they show like an interior or whatever. And I'm just like, that's very terrible 3D rendering, but fine. And then they say how there will be interactive mascots and like Hatsune Miku hologram bullshit. And while you are there enjoying, basking
they
in
wanted to make an anime Disneyland,
basically in a city that is very well known for artistic expression.
Hey man, Bell. That's probably why they thought it would be good. Why didn't they just do all the Hosoda stuff instead? Whatever. Okay, well, that was actually kind of fun. That was actually fun. I had no idea what you were trying to pull out. Congrats, my dude. That was I can see you put a lot of work into it.
I will say though, if you can humor me just one bit, is the tier pledges levels for this Cannes village. There's $10 or more. It's like, okay. $25 or more, okay. $50 or more, then $2,000 or more.
So there's a gap of like $1,990.
For the $2,000 pledge, you get a free weekend stay for 2 people with guided tours of Japanese animation studio and gaming village project in Cannes, France. Airfare not included. I also like the wording of that because it's guided tour of Japanese animation studio and gaming village project. So basically the people who are in charge of the Kickstarter project, not actual...
Not an actual anime studio or a gaming studio. It's just the people who want to con you.
Your guess is as good as mine. But hey, there is live satellite uplink for global connectivity, Will. So you never know.
Right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up the biggest award episode we've done ever. This is a long day.
Yeah. I mean, we could have gone on because we had more stuff, but
we picked the wrong alcohol to end with. The sake was very,
I told
very
you.
rough. Yeah. After a while, I was like, this is probably what we deserve. And then afterwards, like, no, this is actually punishing me a little bit more than...
The problem is I'm actually not drunk or buzzed.
I'm tired.
I'm tired and sober. I'm sweating. So, that is the end of season 3 of the Good Anime Palette podcast.
It's been a good season.
It has been a tremendous season. Season 4 is right around the corner in 2 weeks. We have a lot of stuff in store. We're changing some stuff last minute, but nonetheless, it should be an immensely entertaining, insightful podcast season to round out 2022.
And look, if you made it this far into this episode, well, first of all, thank you very much. But also, look, like, you guys have made the past season a really, really successful one for us. We are seeing progress that we would never have imagined when we started out doing this podcast. And, we want to repay that by continuing the level of work that we've done, roll out more episodes. We will, as Jason said, reconfigure a few things, but in the hopes that it's more geared towards what everyone likes to hear. We want to continue making stuff that everyone enjoys, and that's not going to stop for upcoming seasons, even beyond 2023.
Yeah, it got to the point where we're not going to throw out concrete or real numbers, but Will and I are considering a more long-term plan for... I mean, it was always going to be a long-term plan, but rather than it being a discussion, actual ideas and steps could be implemented at any point to turn what our vision is into something a bit more grander. So thank you, everybody. And for new listeners, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you continue. Old listeners, thanks for joining us for the ride. See you in like 2 weeks when we break out season 4. It's going to be...
Drink responsibly. If you were listening and drinking whilst also listen to us, hopefully you don't have alcohol poisoning. Drink responsibly. And also remember to balance out your alcohol with anime, right?
Or manga.
So we're going to sign off. We're going to take a quick break in terms of just making sure we're getting everything ready for season 4. It's going to roll out just as scheduled. Nothing's going to change there. And hopefully, you'll get to enjoy more fruits of our labor.
Yeah.
Because we are genuinely excited to see what season 4 brings for everybody.
Yeah, and if you have good or bad things to say about our show or us in particular, honestly, right now, all we want is just more opinions, more takes on different things, so we know how to, do a show that both you will enjoy and that we will enjoy making.
Just
as well.
get on Discord and talk some shit with us.
Drop
Drop us a Facebook message.
Some people have been doing that already, and hopefully there'll be many more to come. So the last time that I would do the housekeeping for Season 3, and also the last time that I would retire our current housekeeping script, because funny enough, housekeeping script 2.0 is a legitimate thing, Will, and I've just broke that to you for the first time right now. But you can always reach us through our Gmail, gapalette@gmail.com. That's GAPALETTE@gmail.com, all lowercase, all one word. You can contact us on Twitter using the handle @PaletteGood. That's capital P and capital G, all one word. We have a Facebook page, www.facebook.com/PaletteGood, capital P, capital G, all one word. We also have a Discord, and we encourage you to check it out. We also have a Mal Club, and we have a website that we update quite a bit, and we encourage you to check it out at www.goodanimepalette.com. And now, because we have received numerous opinions on this, Will and I have the URLs for goodanimepalette.net, PALETTE, as well as the .com and .net for Good Anime Palette, PALATE. So you can't hide from us, is what we're saying. Music credits for this episode. Our intro music is No Cry by Fashion. I love the song. It's a good song. Our break music is Be Right There by Omie, and our outro music is Future Vibes by Kyo. Our music was provided courtesy of epidemicsound.com and will continue for Season 4. If you're interested in using Epidemic Sound as a service, we will have a referral link for you that's provided in the show description. I'm psyched for new themes. Will?
I think next time when you're buying sake and the person tells you, trust me, just trust me, a $98 bottle or like a $12 bottle of sake is good, don't listen to them. This was not a good sake.
It's all right, but it is not what we want.
Yeah. But what we do want is to continue working on more and more topics and discussions for the Get Anime Palette podcast. So thank you all again for listening to a wonderful season. We can't wait to bring Season 4 to you. Until then, we're all going to get a nice long break. Everyone enjoy your weekends or whatever you have coming up for you. We'll catch you all very, very soon.
Later.